Hello everyone and welcome back to Analytical Amateurs, the show where a bunch of unprofessionals pretend to be professional. I'm Alcatabra, I am Hero Galactic Blame and Triple M. Say hello guys.
Hello guys.
This is going to be a doozy today.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Today we are discussing quite a treat. This has been accumulated for like a year now on the podcast. The movie
It's all been leading to this.
Yes, the movie we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, Zack Snyder's Justice League, aka the Snyder Cut. Woohoo! Yay! We're here. We're gonna do this. Yeah, we have all seen the Snyder Cut, and now we are going to analyze it to the best of our abilities in this podcast episode. So
Here we go.
I mean, I don't even know where to start because, like, this has been a weird experience. It's like to watch what feels like a movie I've seen before and one that I've never seen in my life at the same time. It's weird.
It's like deja vu in cinematic format.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, to summarize, because we have a lot to talk about here today. So for starters, we're going to actually review the movie itself in terms of its own singular story. Like, we're going to just watch it and pretend that we have not seen the 2017 theatrical cut, aka...
I already do that.
Yeah, oh, good point. But we're going to watch it as if we've never seen that or any DCEU movie that came out after it. We're just going to pretend that this is the one true Justice League and analyze it and discuss it there. After that, we will wrap up with some comparisons in a separate segment, like to the original theatrical cut, and then we'll follow that up with some speculation on the fan culture, some speculation on potential future of this movie and the DCEU.
And then we got a real treat. We got a real treat after all that. We got a real treat. We're going to talk about some great stuff. We're going to talk about the original plan for all this. It's going to be great. We're going to laugh at it. Yes. And we're going to make fun of it. I'd like to say something. That's very important to me. I like to think I have come a long way in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I used to be a very negative person about Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. You can go back and listen to our first podcast about Zack Snyder, and you can hear it. Mm-hmm. You know, I used to say really mean things about him, and I hate that. I hate that for me. But now, I never thought I'd say it, but I'm a part of this movement now. I am a part of this movement to restore the Snyderverse.
That is some character development.
And don't get me wrong. I still think Batman versus Superman is pretty bad. I still think Man of Steel is pretty bland. But I fucking loved the Snyder Cut. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was so good. And there were only one or two things. There were a couple things I didn't like. Mm-hmm. But I am now a part of this movement with all of these people that I used to, really kind of find annoying. I am now a part of the Restore the Snyderverse movement. Mm. However, you can keep your air cut. That shit, I don't need the air cut. I don't need more.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about
I don't think anybody needs that. That's not integral.
We got James Gunn's Suicide Squad 2 coming out, so he's been...
No, the Snyder Cut... The Snyder Cut was a thing about like studio interference and racism and personal tragedy all coming together at the same time to fuck up a movie. The Ayer Cut is just he made a bad movie and he wants people to see more bad movie. No, thank you on the Ayer Cut.
Damn.
But no, the Snyder Cut means a lot to me, both in terms of my character development and of what it means to be a creative person in Hollywood, because. In the end, it's not about like superhero movies. It means a lot more to a lot of people. It's about creative freedom and being allowed to tell the story you want to tell, regardless of whether people think it's going to do good in theaters.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that definitely.
Triple M's going through a Snyder redemption.
I've been through it, and I like Zack Snyder. He's a really nice guy. I've seen a lot of interviews with Zack Snyder, and I'm like, Jesus, man, this guy, he's so wholesome and nobody should have ever had to go through what he went through. First, he loses his daughter, and then he loses his passion project to these like racist asshole studio execs. So yeah, I back him 100%. I might not agree with what he was doing with the characters, but he is a really fantastic guy, and I liked the Snyder Cut.
How about that?
All right,
because that's what we're gonna get into now.
Batman vs Superman is still one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I'll preface that I agree with the whole context behind like. I think it's right that he gets to actually show his vision out there. I'm really glad he got to do that. I'm still going to rip the movie because I still have a lot of issues with it. But
that's fair.
I'm really, really glad that he got to get his thing out. And I respect him as a filmmaker, even if his filmmaking practices are ones that I don't necessarily agree with.
Mhm.
So I agree with you in that regard. So we're going to have different diverging opinions in that regard, but I do agree that the context behind it is something that I think we can all agree on here.
Okay. So
do you guys want to go ahead and just first up give our ratings of it?
Okay, I mean,
Yeah, sure.
before we do that, right before we do that, let's all collectively erase 2017 Justice League from our minds temporarily.
I've been done that. I'm trying to tell you.
You don't need. Here's the thing.
Joss Whedon. Fuck Jeff Johns. Fuck John.
You don't need. Here's the thing with erasing it from my memory is I don't need to go in and manually do that because that movie was so awful that I didn't remember it anyway.
Last week, I watched it for the last time. I will never watch that movie again. I will never watch it again.
You don't need to.
Good point.
Don't torture yourself.
No, because we have the real thing now.
Yeah.
We have what should have happened.
So then, in that case, 2017 Justice League never happened. We are just reviewing this, and here we go. Our ratings. For me, I don't have one. I'm kind of probably going to figure it out as we go along in this podcast.
Oh wow! Well, Annika and I do. I know. The two of us do.
Okay,
yeah,
well, y'all can go ahead then.
Well, so we got a neutral party and we got a positive and a negative party. So this is going to be pretty good. All right. I'll say right as of now, I honestly think that it could change later because I've only seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it the day it came out, and this was a mistake. And I recommend that if anybody hasn't watched it yet, do not watch the 2017 one right before the Snyder cut. Just don't do that. I tried to knock it out in 2 days because I had a bunch of exams, but that was definitely a mistake, and I think it probably, at least in part, influenced my reaction to it. Because again, I felt like, because as we're going to talk about, it's, some of the stuff is still the same because, a lot of the core plot elements are the same. So it felt like a little bit more rehashing than I would have liked. But that's, but that doesn't ultimately, that I don't think that plays too much into my review. So the review could go up a little bit or go down a little bit because I would like to watch it again at some point, not anytime soon, but again. So it might be subject to change. But as of now, I would give it on a 5 scale a 2.5. Which is
right down the middle.
Infinitely better than the original cut, and I'll explain as to why I gave it that one. But I try not to compare the two, but as a film in itself, and that includes my bias with me liking the message that a filmmaker gets to get his vision out, that's included in that review. So I give it 2.5 out of 5. So, yeah.
Okay, and Triple M? The Snyder Stand.
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh.
I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I loved it. I loved so much of this movie. There were a lot of not a lot. I had at max maybe 5 problems with it, 5 or 6. I really enjoyed it, and I disagree with Annika. Watching Justice League 2017 beforehand made me appreciate this more because now I look back on it. And I'm like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, why did they cut out?
Trust me, so much good we will get to that.
There's so much good shit in this movie they cut out. They cut out so much of... I mean, I know why they cut out Cyborg shit, because they're racist.
Ooh.
There's no two ways
about it. That'll come up too, trust me.
We'll talk about Cyborg, because that's actually something I'm going to agree with you with.
He's the best part of the movie.
I agree. If any character got really expanded in this film... It was definitely Cyborg, and I'm glad that they did that because he needed it. So
he's the best part of the movie. He's so good. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. I never thought I'd say this before. 2 days ago. Ezra Miller's a good Flash.
Oh my god! You are crossing the line.
Ezra Miller's a good Flash.
You sir need to dial it back.
Okay, we're gonna. Okay, how about we? Okay. We're gonna get to this later. We're gonna go through We're gonna go through each of the Justice League members individually.
That's a good idea.
Later, because I think that's the only way we can do this justice, because we're all gonna have very different opinions of this. So, other than that, we can all agree on that. But
we will get to that. Moving on.
Wow, that's okay. That's definitely not something I
boy.
expected you to say.
He's annoying as shit, but he's less annoying than 2017.
Okay,
Oh, I agree,
yeah.
and that I agree with that.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't say that.
How about this? How about we start with the characters now? Let's start with the Flash.
Before characters,
Okay.
before we get into characters, I want to just get some basic technical things out of the way with the film. First of all is the aspect ratio. So for you little film students out there, aspect ratio is how wide the screen is. In this case, y'all have probably noticed the film is in 4:3, like it was filmed on an old TV thing, and that was actually an artistic choice. According to Zack Snyder himself, he did this because apparently, like, it was a better fit for the film's IMAX formatting and visuals, and it supposedly made them look better. And I mean, like, I mean, it looks fine. Like, I personally did not see anything.
Honestly, I think you get more in the frame out of 4:3.
Like that was one of the biggest like controversies at first, like when because we saw like all the trailers like getting released on like Twitter and stuff with the correct aspect ratio. And then when it was announced that the whole film was going to be like that, a lot of people got, some people thought it was cool, and then some people thought it was pretentious.
I didn't mind.
I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I mean, it's a little jarring at first because you're not used to it, but you get used to it actually pretty fast. It wasn't.
I was fine with it.
It didn't distract at all. If anybody
you get more image in the frame, you can see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not distracted by the two black bars obscuring characters' legs like you would in widescreen.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I mean, I thought it was a little like... I mean, I didn't understand necessarily why it was... I didn't necessarily understand the artistic choice behind it. Like, I feel like there could have been a bit more of, like, a better reason for it, in my opinion. But, I mean, I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine.
What I did have a more strong opinion on was the aesthetic overall of the film. Everyone's memed how Zack Snyder likes dark visuals. I don't know. I have to go back and look at his other films because I'm pretty sure this is like the darkest film visually he's made. Like it is all
another part of this film.
Very dark.
Even though the plot of this film, like in a general sense, not scene by scene, but in a general sense, is the same as the Whedon cut.
You're shitting me.
The tone, no,
we'll get to comparisons. Don't worry.
I'm saying the basic plot, not all the scenes. I'm saying tonally wise, it's completely different. It's a very different experience, not just like with the desaturation, but I mean like the way that people react to things is very different in this movie. So, yeah.
Okay. Because like I was saying with the visuals, everything just looks very dark. It makes some things hard to follow, especially near the end, but we'll get to the final battle later. Like, I'm fine with movies using, like, low saturation and dark environments for, like, effects. Like, BVS did this pretty well overall, since most of that movie is tonally and visually dark on purpose. But in this case, even in, like, light areas, like, when they're in bright areas, everything is still very bleak. Like, when they're out in modern daylight, everything looks very unsaturated. It was kind of, But yeah,
that's just his visual style.
Yeah,
I just chalk it up to that being how he films things. It's a lot worse in BVS, so I appreciate that you can actually tell what's going on. And the right stuff is kind of highlighted. Like, I thought the final battle had a lot of great colors going on. And there's this one scene that I really liked where they're all standing around the mother box, and then the hologram of Superman plays.
Oh yeah,
and it's really bright and cool. I really like that. That moment actually kind of gave me chills, Mitch, with the music and just the hologram and everything. It was a really nice moment.
My one downside, like I said, is just that sometimes certain things, mainly characters in dark clothes like Batman, Superman, and Steppenwolf, will sometimes just blend into the background, not on purpose, but that was only on a few occasions. So, that was more hit or miss in some areas. Other than that, we should just bring it up now. This movie is 4 hours long. Like, wow.
It's definitely... I don't know. Have you guys ever seen a movie? I mean, I've seen
Lord of the Rings
and Titanic.
Lord of the Rings for me.
No, I think this might be... No, it's not the longest movie. It's definitely the longest comic book movie anyone's ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Insert normie Avengers Endgame opinion here. But yeah.
I liked... I thought I was going to have a problem with the 4 hours, but I didn't even notice. It ran by.
I mean,
the pacing was right on the nose for me.
I do not agree with that.
I watched the first 3 hours of this movie all in one sitting, and then I had to take a break. But I would have watched all of it in one sitting if I could have. It did not feel like 4 hours to me. I wanted more.
That's something I'm going to have to disagree with right here. Okay, because I'm a bit mixed on it. I do feel like it's definitely not like a 2-hour movie. Like like they made it. It's not at all. It isn't. I don't think they could have done anything justice if they made it 2. I honestly think it could have been 3.5 hours, in my opinion. Like 3.5, 3 hours and 15 minutes, something like that. Because there was a lot. Because I like that they expanded on a lot of things that needed to be expanded on, but they also extended a lot of. But they also extended a lot of the stupid shit. Like some of this, especially the ending, just overstayed its welcome.
Oh yeah, that I was gonna talk about that.
Okay, good, because it just kept going. Like people bitch about the Lord of the Rings' ending and how it just keeps going. This is nothing compared to that. This just keeps going and going, and I was just by the end of it because I'm tired and I'm just like I just want this thing to be over with, and it just kept going. Like it just added so much unnecessary shit.
I didn't want it to end, but I will agree that the nightmare sequence is like the worst scene in the movie.
There's no point.
And a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that one, but I think, and this is what's weird is that this was one of the only sequences they shot additionally for the movie. Is they came back and they were like, we're going to...
Yeah, this was additional footage after they announced the cut.
No, but I'm saying that's the only thing they added.
Yeah, and some ADR. Some ADR.
They added... No, they added that whole where Cyborg sees Darkseid kill everyone, and they added the sequence where Bruce talks to Martian Manhunter. It is filmed so poorly. The CGI is bad. I could forgive the CGI because additional photography, and they were recreating entire humans, but the way they shoot it, like it's blurry, but not in a good way. Characters are blurry. There's that one shot of Joker where it's like literally blurry, and then it focuses in on his face, and every time it cuts to Joker, it's like he's like kind of out of focus.
Oh, there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Trust me, and we'll get to that near the end. But yeah,
because we have to talk about Joker at one point.
It's like the worst scene in the movie. It completely it does Batman have superpowers, Zach? Can you see the future?
Trust me, we'll get to the nightmare scene. Like my point with the whole 4 hours thing is like it doesn't need to be mainly because not just about like character development or exposition, but also just certain scenes are drawn out for too long, like you said. Like I noted just before we started recording this, I saw a comparison between the Wonder Woman fight scene in the Joss Whedon cut and this one. I know I said we'd skip comparisons, but I'm only going to cheat this once. But I saw a comparison between the theatrical and the Zack Snyder cut version of the fight scene. And like the thing is that a lot of scenes in Zack Snyder's version were drawn out. Like there's a moment where you have this terrorist guy like pick up a pistol to shoot at the hostages, but then he drops the pistol, goes over to his friend who's on the floor and picks up his machine gun to point at the hostage instead, says some random like creepy line, and then Wonder Woman jumps. Then Wonder Woman and it's all in slow-mo. Then Wonder Woman jumps in to stop it. While in the theatrical cut, the cut is just, he already has the machine gun and he's going to shoot them and Wonder Woman just jumps in. And I'm like, that's one of the few examples of a quick cut that I would have preferred, because a lot of these things don't have to be as long as they are.
Look, like, I understand. I understand some of the slow-mo, like, there was like the shot where he was like turning, the mode of the machine gun and everything. I think like that's an artistic choice, and because it's not that long, like I can understand that, and I kind of like that because it's clearly like it's Zack Snyder's like fingerprint on there, and I feel like that's fine. Like I find that's fine. But just some of the like general stuff that you were talking about, it just goes on for way too long.
Like Batman, that could have been cut down. Like Batman when he was going to meet Aquaman and we're seeing him like ride on horseback towards his village. That shot goes on forever when it's literally just Batman trekking across a mountain.
Where he's walking down like the cliff and it takes like way too long.
I'm just like,
I disagree, but there is a scene, there is a part of that scene that I didn't like. I'm fine with showing Batman traveling across this really cool landscape. What I didn't like, and I think this comes in later in the movie, it's later in the movie, where Aquaman is like walking out to the ocean, and there's this really awful song playing, and it's all slow-mo, and he's that. And they did it with Lois too, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what? Oh my!" I actually yawned.
It's like a music video or something. It's so
random.
Yeah. So that was one of my first problems. Is okay, Zach, the slow mo. I know it's your thing, but you're really kind of overindulging in a bit. There's a lot of times during the final fight where it happens, and I'm like, "This is supposed to be really fast paced and intense," and you got Aquaman jumping through the air, and it's slow. It's like, oh my god, please stop.
Now, I will say...
of indulgent, one thing real quick. This is just because we're not really going to talk about the soundtrack because it's either mostly the same or, or some song changes were different. Some were better, some weren't. I don't, point is, so one of the things, I think it was the motif of it was like the Icelandic folk chant or something kept coming back. I think that
was also weird.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fine. But they used it way too much. Like they needed to pull back on it because I guess it was supposed to kind of be like their theme in a way, but thematically it doesn't make sense because it was related to Aquaman. Like it doesn't just thematically it doesn't make sense. But I feel like they just overused it too much. Like they used it like over 7 times in like a single fight scene, and I was like, okay.
Oh, really? I thought the Icelandic shit was weird, except for that one part where they all start singing. But what bothered me was every time Wonder Woman was on screen, it's
I remember that. I thought they were gonna start chanting the freaking witch theme from ReZero. I was like, why are they playing this chant cry every time Wonder Woman?
Witcher 3. Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. Yeah. It's like, I like Wonder Woman's theme. I really like Wonder Woman's theme. And I like it being integrated with ancient, Amazonian or tribal chants. But when all she's doing is breathing and it's...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she, just starts fighting Steppenwolf, okay, that's appropriate. But, any other, when she just shows up.
No, there's one shot that comes to mind where Cyborg and Aquaman are like, "Hey, Steppenwolf, remember me?" And he turns around and the music is really cool. And then Wonder Woman steps in and goes, "Ah!"
I remember that. That was so weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, there's the music again, I guess." Oh, and then it did it again. It's like Superman punches Steppenwolf towards the boom tube, and the music is really cool. And then Wonder Woman cuts his head off, and then
that's her superpower. That's her superpower right there.
It's just turning the music on. It's turning on this ancient Amazonian chant.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
It was so jarring, and it's I didn't want to laugh at it.
Yeah, the soundtrack could have been pulled back a little bit. Some of the motifs.
I will say, as one note, keep in mind this is a big project being sent to streaming, where people are in their homes and people don't have to worry about time so much. So my theory is that, Snyder probably, his original cut of the film for theaters did not have all of this in it. He just decided to throw everything in because he was like, I'm putting it on streaming. People are going to be in their homes. I can do whatever I want, so I'll just throw in literally everything.
The whole movie is in parts, so...
Incorrect. The original plan was to have it be 4 hours, but there is a cut out there that is 5.5 hours long.
What?
Yeah, no, I heard it was originally supposed to be 4 hours, but people were debating whether or not it was going to be 2 movies or something. So.
No, Snyder calls it the assembly cut, and it is 5.5 hours long.
Don't tell the viewers that. I swear, if we start getting released the assembly cut, I'm gonna fucking have a hernia.
Everybody is satisfied with what we got with this movie. Yeah. I think they just want more. They want more of these movies, so I'm fine with that.
That being said, so. If that's true about the whole, it being 4 hours long, I don't know, it should, even watching this, I think it should have been split into 2 movies. It easily could have been, I don't know.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, really?
No, sorry. I mean, if you're gonna put it on streaming, then I mean, it doesn't really matter if they split it into three.
Oh, not for this. I mean, like when it was coming out in theaters. If they had released it in theaters, it should have been like 2 movies at least.
Oh yeah. No, I agree.
That was the original.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
No one. People don't go to the movies and sit there for 4 hours.
But remember, that was the original plan. We're going to get to that in our second half of the video when we talk about what we really wanted to do.
Okay.
Because even this was cut down and changed to fit the studio's, I don't want to say agenda, but the second part of the video is going to be us reading the storyboard for his original plan.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's always meddling. I mean, he got more freedom than originally, but there was still meddling here. Yeah. There always is.
So let me just say that we have been here for 25 minutes and we haven't even talked about the story yet.
We got to cut this down. We got a big portion.
I guess we'll talk about the story and then the characters because we have different points of view.
I mean, I'm putting the stories and characters together because what I want to really say is, like the characters, I will say, have a lot of banter in this film to make up for it. Because I mean, first of all, we're going into this film with only like 2.5 of the Justice League characters, or more so 3 of them being developed. Like Superman, Wonder Woman, and kind of Batman, because Batman's not really fleshed out in media.
Technically.
Yeah. Because
Aquaman doesn't even do that much in this movie either.
Well, Aquaman's movie wasn't planned to come out before this, was it? So you would have gone into this without Aquaman.
Fair. But still.
But yeah. The point being, like, you're going into this with not most of the team fleshed out. The movie focuses a lot of energy on Cyborg, so I'm thinking, okay, he doesn't necessarily need a solo film or focus before this. But the other characters could use some focus. Like, I'm thinking maybe Flash could have been integrated into Suicide Squad since he already has a cameo in that film. So maybe have him be a part of that. Really? No? I don't know. Like, that would be something.
No, once again, I agree. I disagree. I think this film did a great job of introducing everyone except for, I would say, Aquaman.
Yes, definitely Aquaman is where my main problems lie.
But Flash gets an introduction. We get scenes to flesh him out, and we're going to get a movie about it. So I don't know. I think that he was fine.
I can Cyborg. Good lord.
I think Flash was done a lot better here, but
you said you didn't like him. You said you mad at me.
I said he was better. I didn't say that I still like him. His intro, I think his intro here was pretty bad.
We'll get to that.
Like the first.
Yeah, my point is that I think that
we have too many differing opinions. This is gonna
be this is crazy.
Yeah, I know. We keep saying we'll get to that, but we're gonna get to that in like 3 hours. I'm really excited about
this
second half.
This podcast is gonna be as long as the Snyder Cut. So.
Pretty much.
That's fine.
So, like, as I was saying, like, I think Aquaman in particular had the worst of it development-wise. Like, they don't explain anything going on with his world. Like, we don't know anything about, like, we don't know who Mera is, Volko is, or about his, like, King Ormer's mom. They just drop all this information that was meant to be explored in Aquaman, but, like, in the context of the film, considering how important the Atlanteans and their mother box is, you'd think that they'd want to put more focus on that. Instead, Aquaman is just
right after Steppenwolf, like, takes the mother box from there, like, actually, no, right before he does, Willem Dafoe, again, can't remember his character name. So
Volko.
Willem Dafoe,
his name was Volko.
Yes, I don't care. Willem Dafoe
Fair enough.
gives a whole like monologue about the whole King Orm situation, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm just like, am I supposed to care
about
this?
And then later, Steppenwolf steals the mother box, there's a fight, and then right after that, once it's gone, then Mira's like, oh, let me tell you about your duty. And it's like the same type of concept all over again. So like the Atlantis parts were some of the worst parts in my opinion because they just weren't developed at all. All we get is a bunch of like exposition dumps, and we never really see anything interesting.
I'd rather Aquaman just like be there and just explain he's an Atlantean, and we get a story later, similar to what they did with Wonder Woman. She kind of just shows up in BVS and is like their ally, and we can save the story later. But the fact that they like sprinkle it all over the film just makes it very confusing.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because if they're just going to go over that in Aquaman, there's no reason for them to talk about it here.
One character I don't see many people actually focusing on for this movie is Batman. Because Batman's
Batman, doesn't do
Let's
a
do
lot.
minor characters first.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So who's next?
We'll pass Aquaman. Now let's talk about the Flash. Damn it!
Flash.
I want to say why I like the Flash.
Okay,
Alright,
okay.
I want to say why I like
You
the Flash.
can go
okay?
first,
Okay,
Triple
yes.
M.
Yeah,
Go
please,
ahead.
because I'm very intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2017 version.
Mm-hmm.
Annoying, brat, coward.
Has awful comedic timing.
But it was all because of what Whedon added.
Mm-hmm.
Because this version, you have Barry who is like, stop right there. I'm in. I don't care. I'll be in this fight team.
Mm-hmm.
But then 20 minutes later, he's like, I've never done battle and I'm very scared. That was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that Whedon added just for pure comedic relief was annoying, and it made me hate that version of Barry. But I didn't hate the fact that he was the comedic relief. Now, we've always known that Snyder's version of the character is a different version of the character. So if you go in expecting to see Barry Allen from the comics, you're setting yourself up for a disappointment. So I like this version of Barry. He's antisocial, he's awkward, but he shuts his fucking mouth and he does his job when he needs to, unlike 2017, where everyone's arguing and he's like, is now a bad time to bring up my blood sugar? Like, yes, it is.
Yes.
But in this version, he actually contributes to the conversation. People are arguing, and Barry's like, I have another point. Instead of just saying, haha, I like to say dumb things. No, I like this version of Barry. I think he had one of the coolest scenes in the movie when he turned back time.
Yeah, he straight up saved the world. Like, not bad, kid.
Yeah. and his motivation is also more explored with his father. It's good. It's good. It's a good version of Barry. It's not comic accurate, but then again, not much of what Snyder does is, and that's fine. You don't need comic accuracy to make a good movie. That being said, I wish they had cut out Snack Hole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, damn it, Zach, really?
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
I really hope that wasn't you.
Because Whedon's, his stuff is more, with the Avengers, it's always more quippy and stuff. And then him trying to work around what Snyder did just, made it even worse, So that's why he has, such awful comedic timing, because something really serious will happen, and then he just says something at the worst time possible. So I agree with that. But they added his introduction scene here with, the whole saving the girl from the car accident thing.
That was Iris West of all characters, oddly enough.
Yeah, and I was
dialogue.
not.
Yeah.
I was not about that.
Oh my gosh, that scene was
okay, first of all, he acted really creepy around her.
For real. The way he strokes her.
And as the girl in this situation, if some guy acted like that with me, I would not be charmed. It'd be a big red flag.
She was, I guess.
So which is unfortunate. So that was weird. And some of the dialogue in that was
the way he stroked her hair while she's literally
that was
flying out of a car about to die. Are you kidding me?
It was kind of weird because they were really looking at each other for an uncomfortable period of time.
For real.
And then he brushed her hair while she was in slow-mo, which is unconsensual.
Imagine if he had lost his focus in that moment and she just goes flying and splatters on the ground. And I'm just thinking nice work, Barry. Oh my goodness.
That was not a good intro.
That was so weird.
They could have it was just it was really creepy and weird in my opinion. So that kind of soured me a little bit later on. I feel like I would have been a bit more forgiving of Flash if that scene wasn't the way that we were supposed to establish him. In my opinion.
Man, at least he didn't fall on Wonder Woman's boobs for a laugh.
My goodness.
Fuck you, Joss Whedon. If you're listening to this, I hope you are. Fuck you sincerely.
God damn.
I hope you never work again.
About that later.
Oh yeah. That being said, I feel they just could have introduced his super speed and focus in way less questionable ways. I do want to raise, and this will tie into my points with Batman. First of all, the infamous scene from the trailer that everybody likes, where Batman throws the Batarang at Flash to test him. That scene really bothers me because Batman introduces himself saying that he does not know what Flash's powers are. Like, he says, I know you have powers, I don't know what they are. And Flash is obviously dodging the question. So then he straight up yeets a batarang at this boy unprovoked. You literally just said you don't know what his powers are. What if his powers aren't super speed and like he teleports and you caught him off guard? Like, what if he needs to focus to use his powers and he doesn't get to focus and then a batarang just goes flying through his head? Like, how are you going to fix that? Like, that is such a weird way to catch him off guard. And the weirdest
part about it is that it wouldn't have made a difference if he actually just knew what his powers were.
For real.
Because he was there either way. And if he threw the batarang, it would have gotten him to just like admit it. Like, there's no point as to why he was. I don't know what the fuck the powers are. Also, he saw the video, so he knows what his powers are. Anyway, I mean, maybe he could think it's like teleportation, but either way, like it would be the same. It doesn't make any sense.
I know, like, because and this ties into another thing. Because I was about because like I'm here like Batman, you could have killed him, but that wouldn't be your first rodeo. And me making that joke reminded me, Batman is a fucking killer in this universe. And let me give a disclaimer. I don't know if I've clarified this enough in the past, but I'm gonna set the record straight right now. I do not care that, or I do not have a problem with Batman killing in these movies. Like, I understand that it's supposed to be seen as wrong, and that he was pushed down a dark path after Robin's death and everything, and Superman's selflessness at the end of BVS, like, motivates him to become a better person, hence why he makes the League. That's all fine and dandy. However, why is his
this is an older, jaded Batman that's based off of like the comics of when he gets in like was it the Dark Knight Returns?
Dark Knight Returns.
So
however,
definitely based on that. So that's fine.
My problem arises in the fact that his dark past is never brought up past this point by the movie or by the characters in the film. Like, he was a straight up murdering sociopath who branded criminals like cows, and yet he's just treated like, and like everyone is just cool with him. Like, Flash is like, whoa, you're the Batman. If I was Flash, I'd be like, oh my god, when I see that batarang, I'd be like, oh my god, this man's gonna brand me and throw me in jail, and I'm gonna get stabbed to death. I am out of here. Like, he is straight up psychotic.
We need to talk about that same sentiment about Superman later as well, please.
I don't know if it needed to be brought up, really. I mean, it's clear that he's a happier, kind of more relaxed person now. He even tells Alfred that he knows Superman will come back because of his faith. He has faith in humanity again. I like that arc. I just wish it had been done better in BVS.
Yes, because my problem with it, like my problem,
it's too much of a 180 because he wanted him dead, and then now he's like, oh, now I need him back.
And it's not it's not even just that. It's just consequence. Like the idea that you can just be a criminal and then decide, oh, I'll be good, and no one's gonna bring up your criminal past ever again. Like, why is Gordon still comfortable working with Batman after he has a proven track record so bad that even the citizens fear him? Like, why would he still have the batarang bat signal? Why would he still have that? Why would he still work with this man when he's out here freaking branding people and stuff?
Especially at first when they like confused the parademons with him.
Yeah, like everyone's like, oh,
it just goes to show that they were like, oh, this like blood-sucking looking guy.
Yeah,
was the Batman.
I do not blame them. I do not blame them for thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is that like everyone just treats him like a cool guy. Like they have no problem working with him when he's the most like bloodlust of all of them, and they just never seem to question him for it. And I just wish that the movies would kind of address that. If you're gonna set that up, you kind of have to actually address that. Instead, instead he's just like, oh, I made a promise to Superman, so I'll just never kill again. And everyone's like, oh, sure, you're fine. And they just go along with him. And it's just really weird to me. Like,
if you want redemption, you gotta fucking earn it.
Yeah. Literally. I just can't.
Oh, I'm better now.
Because morals are important. Like, there are stories where Commissioner Gordon won't even let Batman kill the freaking Joker. Like, because he is so dead set on the law. And yet, Batman's out here branding criminals notoriously, and he's just like, yeah, okay.
We are regressing. We're regressing here. We are backing up into this. We're talking about BVS again, and that's the thing. It's like, it's hard not to, but we're talking about BVS and its problem.
Yeah. Thank you for catching me there. Let's move on. Yeah.
Here's what I did. Here's what I did. Going into Justice League, I was like, it's not going to be consistent, but this is the version of Batman that I'm going to be watching, and I'm going to have to accept that. So that's, other than that, they fixed a problem I had with 2017, where if you watch any fucking action scene in 2017, Batman is literally standing there.
Yep.
He's just like, hey guys. But no, in this movie, he does things.
Yeah,
he
those energy gauntlets he got were cool.
Yeah, why'd you cut that out, Whedon?
Yeah, those gauntlets were really cool.
Like, why'd you cut that out? That was cool. It's a cool concept.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you cut that out of the movie? Nobody cares about long comic book movies. I sat there and I watched Endgame 4 times. I did. But other than that, I mean, I didn't have any problems with Batman. I mean, yeah, he sucks at BVS. He's fine here. I kind of just tolerated him the entire movie because I guess in the end, there's not much they do with him. He's just
he was serving.
Like,
I mean, he did his service to the plot, but he didn't provide anything extra.
I will say I do like how he is clearly guilt driven by Superman's death, and he's clearly trying to make amends for that and everything.
Because I think a lot of it is his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he hadn't been so busy with trying to kill Superman, then maybe they both could have stopped Lex.
Yeah.
So I think, a lot of his...
At least in this way, he, blames himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other fact, he doesn't, but here he does.
Mm-hmm. And I don't mind him, being more optimistic. I noticed, he'll crack jokes now, but it's not to the point that it's, annoying. So it was nice to see him more humbled and whatnot. Still wish they actually addressed his past, but beyond that, it was nice to see him as a more humble leader-like figure. Yeah.
So now, moving on.
Cyborg.
I want to talk about the best part of the movie. I want to talk about the best part of the movie. Mm-hmm. I fucking love Cyborg. He's so good.
They did him
He's
so good in this, and they did him so dirty in Joss Whedon's cut.
I think a lot of it is straight up, and this is a controversial opinion, but I cannot think of any other explanation. I think it was genuine kind of snide racism. Because when you read Ray Fisher's statement about what went on behind the scenes with these people, it's not hard to believe. These people, I mean, Ray Fisher said, "No, I don't want to say booyah. We don't need to reduce this character to nothing but a catchphrase." And then Whedon threatened to blacklist him from Hollywood because he refused to say. Okay. Yeah, have you heard all this? This is funny.
Let me. I'll link some of this below. For
especially with
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Joss Whedon's recent quote unquote allegations, but not that surprising about how he treats women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that he would do the same.
But Cyborg is the heart of the movie, and he does nothing in the original cut.
Yeah,
but he's literally the heart of this movie. He is the character. He has all the character development. He's got the nice little he does.
I've never
he's done
in my opinion, the one thing that I knocked this film down a lot for was that pretty much most of the characters didn't get any development, but I disregard that with Cyborg. Cyborg was one of if not the best thing about this movie, in my opinion.
And a lot of it comes with my love for Ray Fisher because Ray Fisher's story is really heartwarming. This was his first movie. And he was led to believe that he was going to be the star and he was going to have the best story in the movie. And then these people come on and they're like, yeah, we're going to change everything up. We're going to kind of screw you over. And then when he fought back, people were like, yeah, this is kind of how Hollywood is. Welcome to it. He's like, no, that's not cool. So he's now he's an activist and he's being written out of future movies because of this. And he's like, I don't care. I don't care about that. We need to fix this. We need to make it right. And he's
a good guy.
He's such a wholesome person. You watch his Instagram live streams and you read his tweets. He's such a nice, heartwarming person. I just I could be best friends with this guy. He is so nice and down to earth.
Ray Fisher, come on our podcast, please.
I mean, think about this. This is his first movie, so it's he's not. If anybody had issues with Hollywood and they were exposed to it long enough, they probably get jaded about it and don't care about it as much as they used to. But he's new to this, so he's got an outsider perspective, people we do, and he's more likely to call attention to it and talk about it. And we need more of that in Hollywood. In general, he is the perfect example of we need people speaking about shit like this. Because if no one does it, it's ridiculous that he got punished for it. But if nobody ever does, then nothing is ever going to change. like he's setting a precedent,
which is ironic because this movie itself has a big theme about rising up over stuff like that.
I know, right?
Probably why they decided to cut it.
There's this one story I really like behind the scenes that Ray shared, where Whedon wanted him to do something stupid and corny, which would go against Cyborg's established character for this movie and this universe. Mm-hmm. And Fisher was like, hey, we shouldn't do that. That makes no sense in context. And then Whedon apparently said, yeah, I don't take notes from anybody, not even Robert Downey Jr. So, and then Ray Fisher was like, okay, I'm not Robert Downey Jr. Ooh. Like, what? Why would you even say icon. That? Why would you even say, like, I don't take notes from anybody, not even this guy who did a mediocre job at playing Iron Man. Like, you're not that special. Like, shut up. Shut the fuck up, you racist.
Wow. Damn. There's
nothing better than a person who stands for their principles, and I'll give him that. That's pretty awesome. So.
So yeah, I have no complaints about Cyborg in this movie. I think I should just move on.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't even a fan of Cyborg like before this, but like watching this movie, I'm just like, Cyborg's now like my favorite DC hero, and I'm just like, damn.
They just did so good in this, so I want more of him. Hopefully, now that like the whole Josh Whedon thing is getting exposed, hopefully they'll like at least like at least he won't get like blacklisted or whatever. I'm not. I mean, if I think that they should invite him back, but if he refuses, then I totally respect that too.
Yeah.
As well, because
I don't think he's going to refuse.
So
I don't think he's going to refuse. I don't think they're going to invite him back.
I agree with both of those. I don't think he's going to do that. But if they did invite him back and he refused, I feel like he'd be justified doing that after the way that they treated him. So,
in context of the movie itself, I will say I really like how like Cyborg like struggles with his powers and everything. Also, like he is overpowered in this movie. Like he can straight up control all of just technology.
I mean, think of it. He's the only person in the movie who like hates having his powers. Like everybody either like is proud of it, thinks it's cool, or it's just part of their identity. But it's still so new to him that he's like having an identity crisis with it.
Yeah, like the idea of
and
him
it's so much interest. It's so much more interesting because even with I mean, it's just they just did him good. There's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah. And then next we can do
Wonder Woman.
Yes. Who
I got a little bit of interesting things to say about Wonder Woman here.
I think there's a lot of controversy surrounding her opening scene.
Oh yeah,
I think
kills
a lot of people are talking about.
She straight up murders them.
Can I talk about the opening scene?
Yes,
first?
please.
Just a little bit. Okay, so I don't necessarily have an issue with Wonder Woman killing people. That sounds weird, but I don't. She doesn't have like a whole like code or whatever. She hasn't ever said anything about that. And I mean, she fought in World War I. I mean, to say that she didn't kill anybody. I mean, she definitely killed that sniper.
Yeah, she definitely killed people.
By the way,
and especially in this situation where there's a ticking clock and innocent children, and it's like she's gonna kill these people.
Yeah, no, and I don't mind her killing those people. That's totally fine. But the way that she does it, wait, let me finish. The way that she
it's so
throws
funny.
That one guy to the wall and breaks his fucking neck, and he slides down, blood on the wall, and then right after it, she goes to the girl and she's like, "Are you okay, princess?" I'm like, "Okay, this is a little jarring."
Oh my god, that was so funny.
I was like, I don't care if Wonder Woman kills people. I really don't.
It's like some shit out of the Boys.
Gonna do it violently. You can't follow it up directly with her being all like sweet and innocent to kids. Like
it's like a scene out of the Boys or something,
right in front of them.
My goodness.
Like it's a little jarring.
She straight up vaporized the man.
Yeah,
just right. So fucking funny.
I mean, she killed all those people in front of those kids. Like, if they weren't traumatized by being held at gunpoint, they were definitely traumatized by that. Like, what the fuck? Like,
no, and I love. She literally fucking explodes the guy. Yeah, and then she's like, "Be anything you want to be."
I
If I were that one girl, I'd be like,
what
okay.
the fuck, lady? I was like, you can't expect me to be
so
like, oh, cute, innocent Diana, and then she just fucking like throws a dude to the wall as blood splatters everywhere.
I
Like,
just,
okay,
like,
oh,
like,
it was a little much. Like, it was a bit much.
I do like the irony of how we literally just got off the heels of Wonder Woman 1984, which is one of the most cheesy, lighthearted films with Wonder Woman. And then, like she's straight, like, she goes out of her way to make sure, like, these goons she tied up land on a car so they don't get hit from falling, so they don't get hurt from, like, falling out of the window. But in this movie, she just vaporizes people and throws them through the wall. And I'm just like, God damn.
Honestly,
Yeah, Wonder Woman is one of the most totally
I
inconsistent characters in the DCEU.
1984, honestly. Everybody,
I would rather kill people. I just hold on. I don't. It's like I don't want her to go out of her way to kill people. I wish that they could just find a consistent tone with her, please.
Again, like in 19, like in
19, go from Wonder Woman.
I mean, like her whole point in like her whole arc in like the first Wonder Woman movie was like she was the only one there who like wasn't jaded by war. Like she was the only person who kind of had like a more positive outlook in life, and then that's just kind of gone. But here she also still has it. It's like I don't. It's weird because
like in 1984, she goes out of her way on multiple occasions. Like not like you'll have scenes in 1984 like where she like takes out a guy's brakes on the car, or she takes out a guy's steering wheel, and she's like, the brakes still work, just so that he doesn't die in a crash. Or she'll like prevent herself from killing these guys who are brainwashed. Like it's not their fault. And then in this movie, she is just throwing people everywhere, and I'm just like, God damn, what happened to the nice you?
It's something else.
It is so crazy and just totally inconsistent. I'm just like commit to something. Like we all understand that.
But I'll give the film that it's really only this first scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly, because I mean, there's no other time that she's fighting other people throughout the movie.
Yeah, everything after that, I kind of like.
Honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me.
I want to talk about that scene. I want to talk about that scene as itself, though, real quick.
The bank scene,
the whole terrorist like scene, like this scene, like okay, let's break this down. So you have these random guys literally bring in a bomb with a timer because their plan is to blow up this like museum building with these innocent hostages in it and get themselves killed in the explosion too, because they don't plan on leaving, and they're doing this because they want to quote send the world back to the Dark Ages. I do not know how blowing up a random building with some innocent kids in it and yourselves is going to somehow send the whole world into like in a chaos apocalypse. Let alone like why does it have a timer if you don't plan on getting out? Like it's almost like they needed that timer on so that Wonder Woman could get a cool fight scene in and then get rid of the bomb. How convenient! Like it's such a manufactured random fight scene to me. That didn't really have to happen because these guys don't mean anything.
It could have been the same scene, but they could have just given them a better motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, make them terrorists still, sure, but there's, they could
just
find
feels
more like
so random out of nowhere, man. It's just not weird.
Yeah, the dark. Like, what the fuck? What does that mean?
So weird. Yeah. But yeah, that was just my nitpick on that scene. Other than that, Wonder Woman throughout the rest of the film is kind of just there as an ally. There's some hints of romance between her and Bruce.
But only like one scene, though. Yeah. It's only... No, that was the weirdest part. Is like early on in the film. It felt like
a rom-com or something.
Is that they both reach for the mouse at the same time. And they're like, and then they like pull their hair back. I was like, what the... Is this going to be a thing? And then they don't even have any scenes like that throughout the rest of the film. So it's kind of just like a weird... like one hit kind of it doesn't make that was odd. I was like, either should have gone all the way or not at all. That was weird.
Other than that, like she's just kind of like she's cool. She's just kind of the cool member there. She has some cool fight scenes, some cool moves. She's like pretty level-headed. Like she gets people to calm down. Yeah, she's kind of just like a more mature, tactical member of the group.
She's like, she's like the assistant leader to like Bruce Wayne, basically. Like when he's not there, she's the one taking charge, which is fine.
But yeah, she's just that's her story.
I mean, I don't really have that much of a problem with her here, other than that first scene. doesn't establish your character that well, but yeah, other than that, God, this movie has a lot of issues with establishing characters in their first scenes. Actually.
Much.
Yeah, so other than like Cyborg, but I mean, again, we've already talked about it. His
so yeah,
is perfect. So.
I guess those are all the major members outside of a certain Man of Steel. Should we discuss Superman?
Okay.
He comes back.
He does. Yeah, that's not a spoiler.
Yeah. Let me say.
Okay.
Let me say. Okay. Or you can go first. Yes.
Okay. I already mentioned this before. Is that when we were talking about Batman, how Batman's like pre-established, thing where like the cops try, like Gordon still likes him even though he's been doing all this criminal shit. And the Flash likes it because the Flash here is established to be kind of a superhero fanboy. And Superman's got the same issues here with like the Flash is like, oh my god, he's my idol, that kind of thing. When that's not established at all. He's got a lot of baggage, like Bruce Wayne does here, and it's like
very much. You have all that controversy in the first two films.
Yeah,
his most notable event is that whole infamous Battle of Metropolis that everyone's still debating, and also the fight with Doomsday in which he died. But yeah. I don't really know. Like, people are, like, all mourning and all depressed. We don't really see that, though. We don't really actually get to see people really talking about Superman's loss outside of Lois, who effectively doesn't really do anything in this movie.
Does she do anything in any of the fucking movies? I hate her. I cannot stand her character.
All she does is...
God, she's so annoying.
Yeah, so, like... Because Superman, like, they didn't really... Everyone was all controversial about him. And now they're acting like the world, like, needs him and everything. And then they just kind of...
I like them. I like them.
Yeah, we'll get to Superman himself. First, I want to talk about, like, everything surrounding his resurrection. They just resurrect him. They're just like, yeah, let's resurrect Superman, because the Mother Box can do it. And they just do it. That was weird.
Okay.
Like, it's just, like, because, like, they don't really... And we'll get into this with the comparisons, but they just kind of just go along with it. They only voice criticisms at the very end, and then he just comes back. Which brings us to the infamous scene that everyone likes, and I don't. I want to go off about Superman versus the Justice League. I don't like that scene. That scene, like, that scene when I saw it in 2017 and 2021 just solidified for me the problem with the Justice League Foundation in most media, especially this one. Superman is too much of a crutch. I don't know why. Like, he is the most overpowered of all of them. They don't, like, because in most of these teams, everyone can bounce off of each other. Everyone has a Boone and a Bane. Superman is just objectively better than all of them. He is faster than Flash. He is stronger than Wonder Woman. He has lasers, frost breath, flight, all this stuff. And you can't even say, oh, but there's kryptonite to, like, weaken him. Because as far as we're concerned, there's no more kryptonite in this world. Well, actually, there's, like, a spear. But that's it. There's, like, no available kryptonite or anything to subdue him. He is just indestructible. I'm honestly surprised he did not kill any of them in that scene where he came back to life. He would have killed Batman if not for those gauntlets. But, like, he just straight up wails on everyone, and everybody hypes up that scene, and I don't like it. Like, really, that moment where Flash is, like, running at him, and he, like, turns to face him, really bothered me. I'm just like, what's the point then? If he's just better than all of them.
There's no point of the Justice League.
Like, Flash's one gimmick he is as good as. Wonder Woman's, all her strength and battle tactics mean nothing against his brute strength. Cyborg's technology can't even subdue him. Like, it just really doesn't mean anything. If he's not even fully conscious, and he's just taking them all down. And then Lois, by some convenience, is what brings him back. I swear. Like, they had no way of well, she just kind of showed up, and that was convenient, because imagine if you just killed her. Like, just not knowing who she was, and just lasered her face off. That would have been awkward. But yeah, she's the one who sort of brings him back.
Nitpicking point. I don't know.
I just don't like the whole Superman mentality in itself with how he's all overpowered. Because I understand him being a symbol for, like, the
world. Also don't like how it just, like, he's like, he has, like, an identity crisis, and Lois shows up, and then he's just fine.
Because I understand it. Like, I like it on an emotional
I kind of
level.
harken like if like a newborn baby with the powers of Superman was thrust into an overstimulated world.
Okay,
I mean,
that makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
Fine. I
feel
find
like
it
the baby
fine,
would
but,
try
like,
and kill somebody.
But the way that he reacts to it after just kind of bothered. Like, he doesn't seem bothered that he just tried to kill them. You know?
Yeah, it's weird how that
There's
never
really
comes
no
up
need to
again.
apologize.
That's always his
I'm sure
issue.
he apologized afterwards.
He fucks up stuff and he never seems to feel remorse for it. Like, what is up with that? Like, he's supposed to be
that is a trend through all of these.
empathetic.
The
That's
battle.
what I'm saying. He's supposed to be the most empathetic. Like, he's more human than we all are. Like, that kind of thing. But we don't ever fucking see that because it's like
Man of Steel
he does
is
all
the
this
worst
stuff.
example.
He screws up all the time, and then when he does, he never like apologizes. He just shows up and then saves the day, and everybody is suddenly okay with it. But it's not.
Like,
you
Man
know?
of Steel is like the worst example. Like, Metropolis got full on destroyed, and it wasn't his fault. You know, he was doing his best to subdue the bad guy, so I don't blame him for the destruction. What bothers me is the fact that he never seems to reflect on it. He kind of just goes about his day, and we never get a scene of like, we never get a single scene of like, I wish I could have saved those people. He's just like, anyways, you want to date Lois?
It would have made him so much more interesting if he has conflict about that. Like, he feels conflicted and guilty about all the destruction he causes. Like, it's like, you can't save everybody, that kind of thing. Like, he needs to go. He doesn't ever have an arc. Like, he just doesn't.
But I'm
listening.
Superman's return is one of, if not the best scenes in the movie.
That was a good scene, I will admit, definitely.
It's fucking badass.
Didn't even mind the Jesus symbolism. I didn't even mind the Jesus symbolism. I actually thought it worked in that.
No. I'm talking about the way he shows up. And then the music picks up, and then the whole team comes together and kicks Steppenwolf's ass, and then they all stare at Darkseid through a portal like, yeah, bitch, what's up? That's a good scene.
Yeah, they built it up. They built it up here a lot better, rather than because he.
Looking back on it in 2017, it has a lot of problems. For one, the music is very clearly nostalgia bait.
Yeah,
it's like, hey guys, look, we included the John Williams theme. Don't you like it? And then there's the really, really, really bad cheesy one-liner that I hate.
You know, I'm a fan of truth, but I also
like justice. Like, okay, and no, I liked it a lot more. He was just like, I'm not impressed. Like a Superman. I don't give a fuck. And then one more, and then of course, it's hard to appreciate the scene when his mouth is moving all over his face. So. Whatever. Yeah. Snyder's version of the character isn't that great, but I liked him in this movie. I like them all in this movie.
The black suit. What was? Do you know? Does anyone know like the purpose behind that? I know, like I think like Snyder has mentioned that.
I got a theory. I got a theory. All right. In the comics, the black suit is able to soak up more solar radiation.
Yes,
Superman wears it because he's just come back from the dead and he needs more power.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thoughts on why it's in this movie. Zack Snyder thinks it looks cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's about right. Like, I'm trying to move past slandering Snyder, but there is no reason for him to be wearing black in this film. Yeah, there is no logical.
Fun fact.
It doesn't make sense.
Fun fact. It was actually shot in the original red and blue outfit, but he went back and color corrected the scenes to be the black suit, if I'm correct. For this
and film. It looks cool. He's not lying. It does look cool.
Yeah.
It just isn't needed.
I don't think there's like a big issue with it at all.
Yeah, it's fine.
Really
I know, and that's why I'm just like, okay, whatever.
And if anything, it fits the aesthetic more. So like it adds to the tone. So it's not like a tone shifter or anything. So I think I
hope it doesn't become the norm though, because because at the end. At the end, where he pulls that really cool shot where he pulls his trench coat apart, he's still wearing black. And then when Cyborg, god damn it, when Cyborg sees a vision of the future, he's still wearing black. Yeah. So I think that Snyder just really wants him to be wearing black from now on.
Although in the nightmare scene, he is wearing the red and blue.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Oh, okay.
There's a reason for that. Henry could not come back for any reshoots.
Oh.
So what you'll notice is the shot where he's holding Lois's dead body is actually the shot where he's like screaming about killing Zod, but it's reversed.
Oh,
it's reversed. You could go back and watch it, and you could be like, "Oh, I see." He goes from like having his mouth open to like back to the quiet contemplation. It's the reverse shot from Man of Steel, and they flipped it. And then the shot where he lands in the nightmare is the shot where he lands in the first scene he's in Batman versus Superman. So yeah, they were like, okay, we gotta find a way to get Henry in this movie without having him come back
because he's filming
the awful show.
Oh yeah, then I guess they pulled a Carrie Fisher then. But yeah, either way, like Superman himself was still cool in this film, like you said. I definitely agree with that. His relationship with Lois was nice and wholesome. Yeah, I mean, I do still have a criticism for the final battle scene. As awesome as it is to watch Superman wail on Steppenwolf, you realize that it took, like, Aquaman, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman were given everything they have just to evenly match Steppenwolf. Then Superman just comes in and just, like, wails on him like it's nothing. Like, it's a straight-up Dragon Ball Z moment. Like, Goku just shows up and just beats up the bad guy, and you're like, wow, it's cool, but the other characters don't get to really do anything. So that kind of takes me out of it a little. I'm just like, couldn't they, like, have done a team combo to, like, take out Steppenwolf or something? Like, actually do the whole United thing? Like, Wonder Woman did. I mean, yeah, they did. Aquaman, like, impales him, and then Wonder Woman does the Mortal Kombat finish with his beheading. So that was cool. But, like, most of the dirty work is, like, Superman. And I wish that the other characters could have, like, contributed a little. But, yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. Other than that, he is still cool, so, you know.
Since we've discussed most of the movie and we need to be moving on soon, there is one there. I want to talk about my notes real quick, and these are brief, so I'll do these real quick.
There's one more character. There's one character. Well, there's 2 characters. There's a hero and a villain we forgot to talk about. The first hero is Martian Manhunter, who just shows up.
Hold on, that's in my notes.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about. Okay, let me. Okay. I'll be the catalyst for both of these because I know who you're going to talk about. Steppenwolf.
Yes.
So much better in this movie. I actually felt sorry for him. His design was a lot cooler. He was a lot more badass.
I'm going to get back to
I liked when Desaad...
I agree with that, yeah.
I liked when Desaad was like, you still owe him 50,000 worlds. You could see him like, oh, bro, come on. Oh, bro, come on. Like, dude, come on. He's so sad. Like, he's just trying to go home, and everybody keeps beating the shit out of him, and they kill him, and it's like, please, dude, I just want to go home. So, yeah, Steppenwolf was really cool in this movie. I liked him. He was actually kind of a character instead of just whatever the fuck he was in 2017. Whatever the fuck that was.
But yeah.
I like his design. The refraction of the light all over the screen.
He was definitely intimidating. Like whenever he was out there like wailing on the Atlanteans or the Amazons, like he was scary as hell. Like the way he's swinging his axe and everything. I definitely felt like this guy is a threat that you need to watch out for. Yeah, so definitely good for making an actual imposing villain for a story like this. Other than that, like, is there any other like you said? I wish, like, I feel that you do feel bad for him because you can see he's obviously pressured. He actually has real motivation. And yeah,
Darkseid's fucking sick. Darkseid is sick.
I wish there was more of this. Like, my one like gripe with Darkseid is that there's a little too much darkness going on there. I know that's ironic to say. Like, brighten, like, as weird as it sounds, actually brighten up his armor a little, because he kind of just blends in and looks like a bleak villain. With that, you like the look?
I disagree.
Okay, that's your preference.
Darkseid, what do you want?
That's fair. I just wish I think his armor could just be slightly blue.
May he God rest his soul. I love Jack Kirby, but this is Darkseid. Yeah. He's supposed to be scary.
He definitely is intimidating, and you can definitely tell, like, he commands these people. He has Desaad.
I wanted more of him. I thought that he was gonna I thought he was going to come out at the end of the movie and start, like, actually fighting them. But I like that he's kind of like this looming presence.
Like, you can tell he definitely commands, like, his presence. You have Desaad, and Granny Goodness is her name, by his side, I believe.
Yeah, she's kind of there. That's just kind of an Easter egg.
I was like, oh yeah, Granny Goodness. But yeah, like, you can tell he definitely commands true power from where he comes from. And even though we only get a small glimpse of his world, you can definitely tell like he's the shit. And when he gets here, there's gonna be a problem. Anyways, like for the last character I want to get into. Steppenwolf. I had one more note for Steppenwolf. Let me see where I wrote it down. I think that like he, even though his motivations are fleshed out, I wanted to know what was going on like with him. Like I want to know more about the history like with Darkseid, how exactly he failed. I was thinking, okay, maybe they're gonna like build him up in later movies, kind of like how they did with like Loki in the MCU. But then he dies. Like he gets beheaded and he's done. Like he's just out of it. And I'm just like, oh, I guess he's dead now. Okay, Darkseid's cool anyways, but yeah. So I guess Darkseid will be a more compelling threat than he was eventually. Maybe asterisk. We'll get to that. Martian Manhunter. that's what I want to talk about.
All right, Martian Manhunter's addition to this movie only created problems for me. That was another couple of my problems.
I agree.
Like, okay, that scene with Lois and Martha was really wholesome. Like where it's like it feels like a mother and a daughter talking to each other, and kind of bonding over the fact that someone they loved so much isn't here anymore. And then you find out that it wasn't really Martha, and it's like, oh, okay. I guess
I'm just like, that's interesting. I guess
cut down the whole thing.
And it makes no sense. Like,
because she was
Martian Manhunter?
Because like Martha was like, oh yeah, like, you know, it sucks like going down the street and then people talking about him like they knew him, but no one knew him. But we were the only people who like really knew him.
I'm like, no, you didn't. You're not even Martha.
It's like a really impactful line that like she would have said. So why the fuck do they have to undercut that just with this stupid fucking Martian Manhunter cameo?
No,
like,
and it could have been easily cut out, and you could have just had him be in that last scene of the film. I really do not understand. It doesn't make sense. Why would... Okay, and then there's the character aspect. Like, why would Martian Manhunter want Lois to go back to work?
Why does he care? What? Why is he concerned with her?
Like Martian Manhunter, buddy, dude, if you want to be concerned with something, how about you get up off your ass and help?
Yeah, oh my god, that's what I want to talk about. So now we officially know that General Swanwick... This
is like the third extinction level event in this universe, and he's just kind of been sitting on his ass the whole time.
Like, now we know that General Swanwick is Martian Manhunter. Even Snyder has mentioned in interviews that he's been here for a long time, like on Earth and everything.
Doing what?
So
Doing
I want,
what,
that's why I want to say, why hasn't he helped out in the future? This isn't a Captain Marvel situation where she's halfway across the galaxy or something. Like, you were literally right there during the Battle of Metropolis, during the attack of Doomsday. Like, you could have easily left the government, gone in there as Martian Manhunter, beat up the bad guy, and then gone back, and no one would be none the wiser because you can literally shapeshift. Like, you like, why?
He's like, no, he's like, I could help the Justice League save the world, or I could gaslight Lois Lane into going back to work at the newspaper.
Like, why?
Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like, now that you know that Steppenwolf is out here and that there's a literal galactic scale war on the horizon, why does he wait till after Superman's done saving the day to come in like, oh hey, I'm your friend, and Batman's like, okay, and he just leaves. It is like,
it's a real testament to. It's a real testament to the amount of shit that Batman's gone through, that this shape-shifting alien who knows his name shows up, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, okay. He's like, hi. He's like, hello.
And that was also an additional scene. See that Ben Affleck is willing to return, because a lot of the fans really like him.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Like, he says, like, I'm Martian Manhunter. I'm an alien. I know your name, and I know about your parents. And Bruce is like, all right.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome to the team, dude.
He's like, welcome aboard.
Welcome background.
The man like
a background check.
He's just like, yeah, okay, well, welcome aboard. But yeah, like, I'm just confused as to why what reason he had not to help out. Considering that like identity is not a problem because again he can literally shapeshift and people don't even recognize Clark Kent is Superman when he doesn't even wear a mask, so you're not that much in problem. But whatever, that's a whole other thing. Point is that his design is kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really like it.
No, I like his design. I have no problem with
the head.
Design.
There's some weird things going on with the head there. I don't know. I'm used to him just being green, and I feel like you could just easily make him just a guy in green makeup. But if this is what they want to go with, then sure. He's a literal Martian, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, there was a cover. There was like a comic book that released for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, he's got a big dildo head.
Where he looks like Squidward. He looks like Squidward.
Yeah, he's got a big dildo head. You can hear. I'll find it. You can pop it up on the screen. Hold on.
Yeah. I was like, why does he look like Super Squidward? What's going on? But yeah,
they did funny. 3 comic covers, I believe, and 2 of them look really good. But then there's one done by Jin Lee, and he looks like he's got a dildo for a head. Yep. And then he looks completely different in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, we've already gone over Martian Manhunter and Superman. I mean, like, the movie as a whole, it still captures the need for them to be a team, I'd say. You definitely have them still have bonding moments, like I mentioned before. I really like moments like when Arthur like starts out this guy, he's like, I don't really care, I'm just here because they pissed off the Atlanteans, and then slowly he starts to bond with them and like think about his problems. Like he talks with Wonder Woman about how Amazons and Atlanteans have like bad history. He sees that like at first he doesn't like Cyborg and he doesn't trust him because he's a robot and everything, and he thinks that he might be working for the enemy. But then after he loses his dad, he's all like, that kid's dad is dead because of us, and he feels that guilt. And I'm like, damn, Aquaman's actually a really compelling character in this. Other than that, I just saw the picture you sent. It is so weird. But yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I think that you have good moments like that. You have Flash is kind of just there. He's like fun, but he's not like to the point of like he disrupts the flow, like we mentioned earlier. And yeah, I just think that the movie as a whole managed to capture that team dynamic. I still think they should have had more time to actually work together, bond, come up with concepts together, but it still did enough for you to feel like they're an actual team.
Hugo, we'll talk about that starting right now because we're gonna start with the original plans for Justice League.
What about the comparisons, though? I want to make some Whedon comparisons.
No, I want to make. I don't want to talk about the Whedon cut.
We'll do comparisons later. So before we move on to like sequel stuff, I just have some general last quick thoughts and jokes that I wanted to mention for like just Justice League in general. I will say this is definitely Snyder's best entry into the DCEU.
Oh yeah, best Snyder movie.
When you're up against his other ones, but yeah, it's good. Like compared to everything else that's been coming out, I don't know like where it ranks with like I consider this the end of the first phase. You know, you've got Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and the Snyder Cut. Where it ranks in all of that, I don't know. However, we forgot to mention something very important, and I'm ashamed of both of you because I was waiting for one of you to say it, but I can't believe you didn't say it. We forgot to mention the one, the only Joker. Jared Leto's Joker is back in the Snyder Cut.
Oh yeah, he fucking sucks. He sucks. He still sucks.
I can't believe. I also can't believe I had to wait the whole movie just to get that.
For real, he is in the last portion.
Disappointing. It is like, and the ending is long as hell, and he is in like the last part of the ending, like the very.
Like I said, that's my least favorite scene in the movie. It's so out of place, poorly filmed, and the dialogue where he's like, "Do you want me to jerk you off, Bruce?
No, he said he wanted to reach your ass."
Like, what the fuck, man?
Like,
what is this?
For starters, like we mentioned, the whole nightmare scene just kind of comes out of nowhere at the end. It's like a whole out of place thing, like BVS. I don't get why you have to foreshadow your entire big sequel, like in the movie like this twice, but okay. Like, so we see all the heroes here, and Joker's here, and he's with Batman.
Because why? Why is he here? The plan is to steal a mother box. So why is Joker helping steal a mother box? What does Joker have that fucking Sam doesn't?
Also, excuse me, but at the end of the world, Harley Quinn's not the one that's gonna die before Joker does. I'm sorry. Joker can't fucking do shit. Harley can.
Harley's a super acrobat.
Do you guys want to hear my impression of Jared Leto's Joker laugh?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
That's pretty good.
Like, what the fuck? It's like a guttural sea creature. He's gagging.
I thought, if anything, they were going to change the laugh for this film, but it's the same laugh from Suicide Squad.
But
Hey,
really? on the bright side, at least I can't tell that he's damaged anymore. How am I supposed to know he's damaged now?
The tattoos.
How am I supposed to know he's damaged?
Really across his forehead.
Honestly, like with the new look looks. It looks like unfinished, like Heath Ledger cosplay. Like it's just like he just. I mean, to be fair, he's in the apocalypse. He doesn't really have time to groom himself, so he just slapped on some makeup. But, like, other than that, like, the scene is just... I got Amazing Spider-Man 2'd, because the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Rhino's my favorite Spider-Man villain. They marketed the hell out of him for the Amazing Spider-Man 2. What?
He's just never utilized properly.
True. Because like they marketed the hell out of him for Amazing Spider-Man 2, and he's only in the last act. Like he appears earlier, but just as a guy. He's only like the Rhino at the very last second, and we don't even get to see him fight Spider-Man. It's just over. It was really, really dumb, and I felt like it was like this for Snyder Cut, because they marketed the hell out of Jared Leto Joker coming back. They had all these cool set photos. For some reason, he's like an angel in one, and I'm probably gonna make that the podcast banner. But yeah, it was crazy how they marketed the hell out of it.
And a lot of people are calling it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, release the society cut. But a lot of people are.
We live in a society.
A lot of people. A lot of hardcore fans online are saying this is the best interaction between Batman and Joker we've ever had. And to that I say, have you seen The Dark Knight?
Thank you.
Like, have you watched it?
To that I say, have you ever seen a fucking movie? Excuse you.
Oh, fun fact. They weren't even in the same room. Ben Affleck and Jared Leto filmed their scenes
separately. That's why it looks so weird.
Yeah, like that's why it looks so awful.
You
never see the two of them in the same shot together. Like every time one is talking to the other is a over the shoulder shot. And I'm just like, wow, how ironic that we finally get Ben Affleck and Jared Leto together, and they're not together. Like, I mean, my guess it probably has to do with the pandemic and everything, which I will forgive you if you forgot it exists. But yes, there is a pandemic going on, and so they probably couldn't get them together for the whole sake of like budget and schedule and everything. But yeah, other than that, I mean, like Batman and him just kind of talk. I really don't know why he needs Joker's help to do the mother box thing. Like, what does he bring? What is he gonna do? He
like
brings...
I said,
hey, he's got police badges on his chest, so that means he killed people.
Like I said, are you telling me that Harley, the super smart psychologist gymnast, is the one who isn't going to outlive the Joker?
For real?
Are you fucking kidding?
Especially this Joker. There is no way he would survive.
Fuck no. And going up against this Harley, no, sorry.
Yeah, well, I have nothing more to say about that scene. I'm ready to just be done with that, because
I do want to say why are they still leaving Robin so vague? I was thinking this would be the movie to finally answer.
Oh, we're gonna find out. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because it's mentioned in the sequels.
Okay,
we're gonna talk about that.
So, last final joke notes I wanted to mention before we go. You already mentioned the reach around joke. Like, why did Joker make a joke about giving Batman a reach around, and why did he look turned on by it? Like really, Batman? Do we gotta talk? Other than that, I did notice Ryan Choi, who is the Atom in the comics. Choi.
I liked him.
Yeah, he's in this movie, so there's some cool setup, I guess. Maybe they'll utilize that for the future. At least they actually build him up on like Martian Manhunter, so that's something. I like that Lex is actually utilizing the fact that he knows the heroes' identities to get an advantage, because he tells Deathstroke Batman's identity to get him on his side. So that's good. I don't know why he doesn't just leak their information to the public. Like, if you're so hell-bent on destroying Superman, tell everyone that he's Clark Kent, and they'll go after his parents, and it will just fuck him over. But whatever. That's just my personal nitpick. Other than that...
All right. Here we go.
I'm not done! I have so many joke notes.
I'll kill you, Hugo!
Don't worry, we will get to the sequels. So, like, next thing, how the fuck does Clark just reassimilate into society after he straight up died? Like,
they bring it up in the sequels.
Okay, good. Because other than that, last two things are I I swear Flash's dad says don't be gay to him in jail. Like, I swear that's what I hear. Like, as he's being dragged off, he says, some people are saying he says don't be late.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I'm like, don't be gay?
I'm just like, did he say don't be gay? What? Like,
I remember hearing that. I'm like, did you say don't be gay?
I was so confused by that. Other than that, the last thing is just a joke that's kind of a dark joke. So Silas Stone, Cyborg's father, sacrifices his life in order to superheat the mother box, which will allow Batman to track down its like heat signature and find Steppenwolf after he takes it so that they can beat him. But couldn't Steppy have like been located simply by someone noticing the gigantic glowing force field around an abandoned nuclear plant with parademons flying in and out of it? Like, isn't that kind of give away where you are to like literally anyone?
That's unfortunate.
like imagine if like Silas just died for nothing and Batman could have just looked up on a camera the giant force field. That is such an oopsie. But yeah, that's just my little point I wanted to bring up. Okay, I'm officially done. Go crazy, Triple M.
All right, my turn. Here we go.
Yes.
All right, everybody. I don't know if anybody listening. I don't know if you heard this. A couple of weeks ago, an official museum dedicated to chronicling the release and all that shit of the Snyder Cut opened at the AT&T Museum. I don't know where it is. Zack Snyder purposefully put up his storyboards for the original 3-part Justice League story, which is a bit much if you ask me. So people would see it and get hyped about it. I don't blame him because that's a smart move. So as I'm reading, we're going to read these plans off, but as I'm reading this to you, this was put into motion before even like Wonder Woman and all that shit. I think I was written right after Batman vs Superman came out. So if you hear anything that's like, that sounds a bit weird, that's because it was written before, a bunch of stuff already happened. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start reading, and we're going to give our thoughts along the way. All right, here we go. The Justice League 2. It starts with Justice League 2. I assume that Justice League 1 is pretty much more or less the same, right? Okay, Justice League 2. The Justice League United. We open with the Justice League acting during a natural disaster. They're working they're efficient, they're powerful, they become very well organized weeks after Justice League 1. They act together, they save lives, but they're refugees, so political tension is high. The world is on edge. In the aftermath, the Justice League regroup at the only headquarters they know, the Batcave. Flash is enthusiastic, Superman remains distant, and Aquaman is facing a continued skepticism of the surface world. Wonder Woman relates to Arthur, as her people abandoned this world a long time ago. It is clear that although the League is united, the world is not. The League goes back to their individual lives to mend old wounds, except for Batman, who's dealing with fresh ones left alone in the cave. Bruce secretly meets with Lois Lane, both of them still searching for Lex Luthor. I guess they're searching for Lex Luthor, I don't know. There's tension between them since Superman returned. The meeting ends after Lois tells Bruce that Superman needs her more than ever. Bruce knows Lois is hiding something, but he doesn't know what. And then, meanwhile, deep in the Brazilian jungle, Lex locates Dr. Maru. I think that's Dr. Poison.
Last seen in Wonder Woman. Dr. Poison, yes.
She's still alive, experimenting on herself, prolonging her life, and testing new chemical weapons on unfortunate humans.
How old is she at this point?
Well, I mean, she uses her experiments to prolong her life, so that's fine.
Okay.
Like an obsessed stalker, Maru has spent decades collecting information and artifacts on Diana and the Amazons. Now that Diana has become known to the world, Lex offers Maru a chance at revenge, the same revenge he wants on Diana's friends Batman and Superman. Poison accepts. Lex smiles. Then let it begin. Oh, hold on. I should do a Jesse Eisenberg, right? Okay. Oh, hold on. Then let it begin. It's like fucking. He's just really enthusiastic for no reason. In the Atacama Desert, with Dr. Poison's help, Lex breaks Orm and Black Manta out of the desert prison where they were imprisoned at the end of Aquaman 2018. That's another detail that was
changed. Yeah.
This is funny. Outside of Central City, in Iron Heights Penitentiary, Lex finds Leonard Snart, where he was left in The Flash 2018, and offers Leonard Snart a chance to advance his weaponry and take down the fastest man alive.
Oopsie doopsie.
Yeah, so a lot of this is based off of plans for movies that never fucking happened, so it's going to be pretty funny. In Metropolis, Superman asks Lois when she was going to tell him. Tell you what, Clark. Superman says he can hear the second heartbeat, and she shouldn't call him Clark. Clark is dead. The world believes that too.
So who is she married to then?
She's married to Superman. She's married to Superman.
Is that public knowledge? Like what? How do you explain you're married to Superman? Goodness. Oh,
that's pretty stupid. Imagine like getting married and being like, "Do you, Superman, take Lois Lane?"
Oh, now pronounce you Kryptonian what? That is crazy.
All right. At the Louvre in Paris, Diana and Minaleep, the Amazon who came to warn Diana about Steppenwolf, who isn't in Justice League.
That didn't happen, yeah. It was an arrow or something.
And Diana discover that there may be a way to remember the path back to Themyscira. What? Diana must use the lasso on herself. Diana must use the lasso on herself to unlock her mind. It's a dangerous process, but Diana wants to help Minaleep get home.
That was used. That was it. Wasn't that? First of all, how's that dangerous? And that kind of sounds like what they did in 1984 with the whole lasso can like give you visions and shit. So I guess they
and Diana wants to see her mother again, even if her mother might reject her. Diana puts the lasso on, it's like a coat. He just puts it on like a coat.
Nice.
And suddenly, she's overwhelmed by visions. In the beginning, they're wonderful. For the first time in over a century, Diana sees her home. Soaring over the island, she sees the Amazons and finally her mother. But then her visions grow dark. She sees herself as the god of war in a battle with Superman, and as she kills him, Diana cries out. Minaleep frees Diana from the lasso. There's a typo. It says Diane. She frees Diane from the lasso. Despite the pain and confusion, Diana remembers the way home. What? In a Central City courthouse, Barry is at a hearing. Thanks to Cyborg, Iris, and a troop of lawyers from Wayne, the state has examined new evidence that Barry and Victor have presented and agreed to reopen Henry Allen's case.
Okay, so
Barry's
I imagine
happy.
Iris probably would have been fleshed out in the Flash movie. Okay.
And Cyborg would have been there too, but now he's been written out because he wanted to say that people were racist.
Oopsie doopsie. That's
Along an underwater continental shelf, Aquaman and Mera are in a violent battle with each other because Mera is a violent domestic abuser. Wait, sorry, that's not what it says.
No. that was a good one. That was a good one. I like that.
That's not what it says. Aquaman and Mera are in a violent battle with the last of the Seven Kingdoms, the Unseen. I imagine they're like the trench.
Mm-hmm.
It explodes around tidal pools and active lava. It explodes around tidal pools, active lava flows. Arthur has the Seventh King on the ground, his trident at his throat. The Seventh King tells him to kill him. Arthur says no, he wants an alliance. Arthur leaves, frustrated. These kingdoms will not unite. In the Batcave, Cyborg upgrades the cave. He even provides a female AI voice for Alfred, who is a horny father figure. The horny part is me, but I just imagine fucking... That was Alfred's like getting it on with like a sex robot, like in her.
Wow.
Just like Alexa,
but yeah,
whisper nice thoughts to me.
I like the idea that Alfred has become like a father figure for Cyborg. I think that's cool.
That's cool
because you can actually kind of see a bit of like their banter in Justice League, and now that Cyborg is kind of like finding this new family, I like that. I like that idea a lot. Looking at the empty cave around them, Cyborg asks Alfred, "Why is he never home?" Alfred solemnly replies, because then he'd have to face himself.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, I like Batman and Lois... Meanwhile, Batman and Lois move deep into the Canadian wilderness, doing second following up on a lead that Lex may have been... Deep into the Canadian wilderness, following up on a lead that Lex Luthor might have been sighted in one of the remote towns. Batman fights his way through a secret location, only to discover not Lex Luthor hiding out, but the Riddler! Okay.
Because apparently the Batman was supposed to be a part of the DCEU, correct?
Yeah, this was supposed to Batman with Deathstroke and the Riddler was supposed to happen before this. Awake for days, maybe weeks, Riddler has a long, unkempt beard. His fingers are dirty. His rantings written across the walls of his cabin. No, you're gonna love where this goes. Trust me.
Oh my goodness.
He looks at Batman, a man possessed. And then he says, Luthor asked the question. I had to know the answer. I'm also imagining Jesse Eisenberg also playing Luthor. He's just playing the Riddler. He's just both. Lois is also on Luthor's trail. She has located Dr. Poison's lair in the Brazilian jungle. Lois writes everything in a journal, keeping it offline and private. She grows pale as she realizes who Poison is and what Lex might be up to. He's forming a league of his own. Back in the Canadian wilderness, Batman faces off against the Riddler. He tells Bruce about how Lex came to him for information. Lex presented the anti-life equation, the riddle of life itself, and the Riddler solved it. The Riddler's just like,
you're telling
the Riddler's just like, the answer is X. Riddler says Riddler knows what the anti-life equation can do, and once it's unlocked, Lex will make life meaningless. The Riddler raises a gun, but he points it at his own head. Time to solve the last riddle, Batman. Blam! Batman is shocked as the Riddler kills himself.
He's fucking
gone.
Why?
Literally, this Batman fucking shoots himself.
Imagine, like, if Batman looks at the audience and he's like, "Well, what do you know about that?" What the fuck, dude? Why would the Riddler kill himself when he? What?
Doesn't make any sense.
All right.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Wonder Woman and Menaleep arrive in Themyscira. Diana is unsure what her mother's reaction will be, but a tearful and overjoyed Hippolyta embraces her. The Queen declares there will be a celebration unlike any other in Amazon history because her daughter is home. Back in the oceans, Aquaman and Mera bring the final kingdom of the Seven, the Unseen, into their alliance. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, that just happened off screen, I guess.
Everything just worked.
Yeah, last time we saw Aquaman, the guys were like, no, but now they're like, yes.
Yeah, why not?
For the first time since Atlantis sank, it is once again united under Seven Kingdoms thanks to Aquaman. Oh. In Central City, for the first time, there is no wall of glass between Barry and his father. Henry is released from prison, exonerated. Barry's about to tell his father that he is the Flash. I like that. And it bums me out because it was revealed recently that the guy who played Henry Allen won't be in the Flash, and they're not they're not like recasting him either. And I really like their dynamic in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So yeah, it's a bummer. In Metropolis, Lois returns to Superman and tells him that she will accept that Clark is gone, but she has to go, still on the trail of Lex. Oh, okay. I guess we're really committing to this whole Clark Kent is dead thing.
Yeah, like why doesn't Superman help her then with the thing? She can use the manpower.
What is Superman doing? Reading?
Like, what is he
in Gotham?
And what is he doing during this?
In Gotham, Batman returns from the wilderness, still shaken by the Riddler's proclamation and his dying words. Intercut this with Lois discovering from General Swanwick, who we now know is Martian Manhunter, that Lex has the... Oh, by the way, Martian Manhunter also does nothing in these. He also does nothing in these.
What are these people? What are y'all doing?
General Swanwick tells Lois that Lex has the 3 mother boxes. She says, "Oh no." At the 3 Rivers, which is the location where Darkseid tried to conquer the world the first time. So at the 3 Rivers, Lex is on the scene. His team elsewhere, but in contact with him. Lex activates the boxes, his true plan to destroy the Justice League and take this secret power called the anti-life equation for his own. It will give him power over all living life. Is there another kind of life, Zack Snyder? What's the other kind of life? Dead life?
That's
sorry, that one line is funny. The anti-life equation glows as Lex turns on the boxes. Across the world, Cyborg quote-unquote blinks, feeling a horrible emptiness as the influx of data stops for the first time since he went online. And a boom tube erupts in front of Lex, surprising him. Emerging from the portal, Desaad and Darkseid. Darkseid takes the power of the anti-life equation for himself. In the Batcave, Superman, Batman, and Lois regroup. They learn of Darkseid's arrival. Superman tells Batman that this is a fight among the gods. "She's my world," he tells Bruce. "Protect her." Superman flies off to confront Darkseid. After Superman leaves, Bruce and Lois argue. Bruce knows she's pregnant. Lois ends the argument by telling Bruce, "You're not the father." She tries to tell Bruce about what she's discovered with what Lex is planning, but he won't listen. I'd like to take a little moment, talk about the fact that Zack Snyder was like, you know what? Yeah, Batman, he's trying to assemble a Justice League so that he can prove to Superman that he's a good person. You know what else he's going to do? He's going to fuck Lois Lane.
Good lord. The thing, because Batman and Lois have dated in stories like the DC, AU, the animated series, but it was not, in rivalry with Superman. Batman dated Lois, then Superman liked Lois, so Batman stopped dating her and like here, like why is he going behind?
Like a soap opera. It's soap opera shit.
Funny.
I also want to talk about the fact that in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the one that came out, it is confirmed that Superman has only been dead for a month. So I don't know if it's the same story in these scripts, but if it is, Batman got busy.
Ooh.
He got busy.
As soon as he's gone, he jumped on that train.
Took him not even 3 weeks. Took him not even 3 weeks.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy.
There we go.
I failed him in life. I won't fail him in death. Anyways, time to bang his wife.
I'm going to fuck his girl.
Oh, good lord. That boy went back to town.
So yeah, that every single diehard Snyder fan I knew has read this has all agreed on one thing: that is stupid.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So at the Three Rivers, taking in Darkseid's arrival.
They set up that Batman and Wonder Woman had a thing? So why is he with Lois?
Well, they since changed it, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Back at the Three Rivers, taking in Darkseid's arrival, Lex tells Darkseid that Darkseid has the power to kill Superman, but Darkseid scoffs. He says to Lex, "I don't want him dead. I want him to submit." "The girl," says Lex. "She's the key to breaking his spirit."
Ooh.
Superman arrives and a battle with Darkseid erupts, and then I'm turning the page.
Wait, what girl though? He doesn't specify that it's Lois. This is like some.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. But Darkseid ignores Superman, booming to Lois. Batcave collapses around her, and Batman at his arrival. Darkseid booms to Lois and Batman in the Batcave. The Batcave collapses around both of them at his arrival. Bruce looks down at Darkseid and Lois from behind the glass wall above. Darkseid stares at Lois, and Bruce is overwhelmed. What can he do? So, just to give you an idea of the layout. So, you know how the Batcave in this universe is 2 floors?
Yeah.
So, after Lois is like, "Fuck you, you're not the father," Batman goes upstairs to that little glass office. So, he's upstairs when Lois and Darkseid are downstairs. So, I kind of had to think about it to understand the layout. So, he can't do anything. Superman flies at incredible speed all the way to Gotham. He arrives just in time to see Darkseid unleashing his Omega beams from his eyes, turning Lois into ash. So you know how in Justice League...
Wait. Also, I mean, I know Batman is like not there. Like, I know Bruce is like blocked off, but like, what the fuck would he have done against Darkseid anyway?
Exactly. So it's like there's nothing.
There's no fucking point.
That man can't deflect laser. Like what? I don't really know.
All right. So
grappling hook won't do much against one of the new gods.
So you know how in Justice League, the one we just saw, there's the Cyborg sees the future and he sees Superman holding like a burnt body as Darkseid touches him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that happens in the Batcave.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
This makes
Superman
sense.
cries out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Superman cries out. His soul shatters. Grief-stricken, he moves to tear Darkseid apart, but Darkseid simply gazes at him, the power of the Anti coursing through his veins. Superman stops, his mind infected by Darkseid, and Bruce watches it all in horror. Superman grabs his head in pain, eyes burning, and just before Superman can kill him, Batman escapes. Before Lois is able to warn everyone, she's dead now, Lex signals his team to attack. On Themyscira, Dr. Poison unleashes a chemical gas that covers the island, killing the Amazons, even Diana, who dies in her mother's arms.
Whoa.
Dr. Poison dies herself, a sick and twisted smile carved onto her face. In Atlantis, Orm and Black Manta attack the coronation, killing Arthur, Mara barely surviving herself. A cut across her face. Oh, I like that. She barely survives. She's got a cut on her face.
This is what a scratch.
In Central City, Leonard Stark attacks Flash with his amped-up weapons, courtesy of Lex Luthor. Ooh. Cyborg is blown in two, saving Barry, losing his lower half, so now he's just like his upper half. Back at the Batcave, Batman watches in horror as Darkseid takes full control of Superman. He barely escapes, Lex believes he's won, but comes face-to-face with Superman. He looks at Lex with burning red eyes, and Superman lights him on fire. Ooh. As Lex screams, the world goes to red, and cut to 5 years later.
Oh boy.
Where have I heard that before? I feel like I've heard that. Nah, I don't think that there was any copying here. I think there's just a weird coincidence. So, 5 years later, sand dunes, smoldering solar pits, Gothic spires rising from the desert. Once this was Gotham. Now, like the rest of the Earth, it belongs to Darkseid. So this is like what we saw in the Nightmare sequence in BVS and Superman, Justice League. Coming over the dunes, post-apocalyptic Batman as seen in BVS with a ragtag army of rebels, the surviving members of the Justice League. They walk over to the dune to see the dilapidated Wayne Manor. Batman leads them. Flash drags what's left of Cyborg behind him.
Damn.
Because apparently Cyborg can't... apparently Cyborg cannot create, more legs.
That's what I'm saying. Can't he, just alter his body to his will? So just make new legs. I don't know.
Bruce looks up at the sky grimly. We need to get inside before night. He's coming. End of part 1. Here we go. This part annoys me because for those listening, if you don't know me, Green Lantern is my favorite DC superhero. He's my absolute favorite. And the way they handle him in this script kind of pisses me off. So here we go. This part is labeled Green Lantern comes to a post-Darkseid Earth. We open by introducing Green Lantern to the Justice League film universe.
Which one?
You never know. You will never know.
They only refer to him as Green Lantern. It could be Hal Jordan, John Stewart. It could be someone else.
They only refer to him as Green Lantern. So we open by introducing Green Lantern to the Justice League film universe. He's inside his ship, crashing to Earth, desperately trying to make contact with someone, but there's no response, only static. Here we have the first problem. Why is Green Lantern in a ship?
He can fly.
Yeah, why is Green Lantern piloting a ship?
Can't he,
Abin Sur uses spaceships, but only because he has his mind on other constructs. So why anyway, the ship crashes hard, as opposed to crashing soft. Disoriented, Lantern hears... And I promise you will never hear them say his name. It's only Lantern or Green Lantern. Lantern hears someone outside opening the door. A silhouette figure peers in. It's Batman. Opening on the 5 years later Earth scene at the end of Justice League 2, parademons convey onto the ship. Batman defending Lantern. Then, an unexpected ally assists Batman. Deadshot, firing at the parademons. In this post-Darkseid world, Deadshot is teamed up with the Dark Knight. Then they're joined by the Flash. Batman barks at Flash to stay out of the fight. He's too important to the mission to risk getting hurt. Flash saves Batman, cocky as ever, but is soon overwhelmed by parademons. Flash is almost killed, but Lantern saves him. The iconic friendship between the two beginning. So from that line, I'm guessing it's Hal Jordan. Lantern looks across the sky, analyzing it with his ring. He explains to them who he is and what the Green Lantern Corps is or was. How he came here looking for his partner from Earth who's missing and presumed dead. See, that doesn't make sense. Who was his partner from Earth?
It was Daffy Duck, obviously, the Green Lantern.
You're right.
No, can I pretend that this Green Lantern is Daffy Duck, please? Like the one in this film?
Yeah, sure. Because it'll never tell you otherwise.
Good. I'm gonna pretend this is Daffy.
There's something funny I want to say right here. Darkseid's army is paving their way across the universe. In the sky, the Big Dipper constellation is missing two stars. Darkseid says that all the stars will go out because of what's happening to Earth. The sun starts to set, and Batman says they need to move. So here's what I imagine happening in the movie. One of two things happen. Either a character says, the Big Dipper is missing 2 stars. Or the camera pans up and zooms in on the Big Dipper. It's like, hey, look, the Big Dipper, look. Which is like, who in the world, other than the most devoted stargazers, would notice that?
Also, why is it relevant? Why are the stars dying out because Earth is dying out? What the fuck?
Is there some astrology thing?
I don't understand.
I don't get how that works.
Batman, Deadshot, Flash, and Lantern return to the League's hidden base camp under Wayne Manor. What? Okay, so Superman, all of Earth, and Superman hasn't looked for them at Wayne Manor yet? 5 years hadn't looked for them at Wayne Manor?
That would be like if Thanos took over the world and they all just hide in Avengers Tower. Come on.
Yeah, big giant A in the sky, and we'll look there. Anyway, Mara joins them, walking to the camp with Arthur's trident slung across one shoulder and 2 buckets of water on the other. Mara remarks she's had to venture further outside the camp to locate drinkable water. Bruce explains the operation to Lantern. There it is. It pisses me off. Just say his name.
Mm-hmm.
They're planning on a move that will end Darkseid's reign on Earth. They misspelled reign there. It's R-A-I-N.
Nice.
Lantern doesn't think they have a shot. He wants to repair his ship and try and find any surviving members of the Corps. Lantern wonders what the Justice League could do to stop Darkseid. Alright, guys. Here's my favorite chapter title.
Ooh.
The Last Supper of the Justice League.
Oh, God. That Jesus symbolism.
Nice.
So, there's two versions of this. There's the version I'm about to read, and then there's the version that Snyder updated with this new Nightmare timeline with Joker in it. So, as we said before, there's not much explanation as to what happened to Robin, but according to Snyder, in this Last Supper, they were going to do two different versions of it. Joker was going to tell his side, and Batman was going to tell his, and everybody else would, listen. And I think that's kind of cool, but also, I hate Jared Leto.
True. Can you imagine him narrating?
So back to the original vision. Reveal post Darkseid Cyborg, now half a man, able to plug into machinery, hanging in the Batcave on a wall. He's like a mantle.
Just
He's like a penguin.
Just put him in a wheelchair or something, or give him legs.
He's put him.
Hang him up like a picture.
I can just imagine.
He's working.
Just put him on a wall.
We're just hanging on the wall.
He's working on massive technology called the Cosmic Treadmill that will help the Flash jump back in time. To what end, Lantern asks. Cyborg tells Lantern the specifics.
Some fucking legs.
Give me some legs! Cyborg tells Lantern the specifics of how time travel works. It's very uncontrollable, and even if they can get Flash to travel back, they can only try it once a year. Why? So that Earth will... Oh, I get it. Okay, here.
So like the sun or something? Earth will be in the right position?
Even if they can get Flash to travel back, they can only try this once a year so that the Earth will be in the very same spot and the Flash doesn't jump into solid bedrock.
Okay.
Flash shrugs and says, or space. Okay, I get that. Mm-hmm. That's actually a pretty cool concept.
Yeah. That makes sense.
In order to operate it, they need to steal a mother box from Darkseid's army. And they know where one is, but once they power this machine up, they'll get his attention. Lantern asks who. Mara answers a Darkseid-controlled Superman. Even Lantern has heard of the Kryptonian, worried that he's under the control of Darkseid. He heard his spirit was unbreakable. Deadshot goes on. Across the world, beyond parademons, nearly the entire population has fallen to the anti-life. Their minds completely controlled by Darkseid. Deadshot says he remembers when his daughter was taken. It haunts him worse than death. Whoa. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like that build-up. That's actually a good one of the few good things they're carrying from Suicide Squad. I like that.
They need to move soon. The planetary alignment is tomorrow night, where Earth will be in the same place it was when Bruce first saw the Flash in the Batcave. If they don't jump then, they won't have another opportunity for an entire year. The plan is that Barry will warn Batman so that they can be prepared, but the Flash will only have 10 to 15 seconds before he's torn apart. So what he can say in that amount of time to Bruce is up to question. They all agree it's simple. You have to stop Lex. If Lex is stopped, Darkseid will never come here and Lex will never slaughter the League. Afterwards, Bruce pulls Barry aside. Bruce tells him that won't work. He's trying to stop Lex already, but it never worked. Flash has to say something else. Bruce says that it's his fault. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Bruce admits, she was Superman's world and I broke that connection. Bruce whispers in Barry's ear and Flash's eyes go wide. Flash can't help but say, no way. Bruce responds, tell me that. It will change everything. The mission. The mission starts at dawn. In a Fury Road-inspired Batmobile, the Justice League, Batman, Green Lantern, Deadshot, and Mara break into the Stronghold, a cathedral swarming with anti-life controlled people.
Ooh.
Human priests kneel at the mother box.
Wait, human priests?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess. They're on board with it. They're like, hey man, Jesus didn't come, so now we're on board with this.
This is our new religion.
Monica, you having a good time?
I'm really enjoying this.
Batman says as soon as they get the mother box, Superman will know they're there. Back at the Batcave, Cyborg the wall painting, and the Flash are preparing for Flash's jump. Cyborg makes it clear that the Flash will not have much time. He needs to deliver the message before he crumbles into nothingness. But if Barry succeeds, it won't matter. None of this will have ever happened. Batman and the others steal the mother box and make a dead run back to the cave as the Flash and Cyborg prepare for Barry's jump. But Superman is in pursuit. Superman arrives and faces off against the Justice League. And here's where it gets really funny. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. Here we go. From a tower, Deadshot fires a kryptonite bullet at Superman's back. Superman dodges it. Batman asks Deadshot over his comm, what happened? Deadshot tells Batman, this better work. This better save my daughter. Superman flies straight through Deadshot.
Ooh.
Damn.
This is my favorite line in the entire fucking thing. And before I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, I didn't even understand what this meant. This is my favorite line. Just 2 sentences. Mara tries to remove the water from Superman. He crushes her.
Oh.
It's just the stupidity of Mara tries to remove the water from Superman. He crushes her.
First of all, why? What would that do to... I don't think Kryptonians work like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but...
Superman tries to remove the water. So Mara and Deadshot are dead. Green Lantern fires his ring at Superman, but he sends his corrupted heat vision into the ring, and it explodes, taking Lantern's arm and life with it. Now, let me ask you this question, guys. Let me ask you this question. What did Green Lantern do in this movie?
Nothing!
Why was he there? Why was he there at all for any plot purpose?
Fucking Green Lantern he is.
He hasn't done anything to contribute. He saved Flash, but anyone else could have done
there was no point. Like I guess he saved Flash, but Batman could have. Yeah. So there was no point for Green Lantern to be in this movie.
For real.
So yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Cyborg does what he can against Superman, but he's pinned up to a wall like a cuck. As Flash prepares to jump, just after Cyborg activates the machine, Cyborg tosses him to the parademons who eat him.
Ooh.
Cyborg is getting fucked in this, dude. He just can't catch a break.
Why
then
are all
finally
of them getting so brutally murdered? Like, god damn.
Because it's for the vision.
Of course, it's for the vision. The Snyder vision.
Snyder vision.
Hashtag for the vision. Continue.
Then, finally, it's Batman facing off against Superman again.
Oh, what is he going to do?
Runs hard on a machine,
what is he
seconds
do?
away from the jump. Batman is armed with the kryptonite spear, but Superman impales him with it. Oh, okay.
Huh.
How did he get it? How did he get it away from him? How did he get it away from him?
Being near that would kill you.
Yeah, that would. Being near that would have. That did when he defeated the.
That should have nerfed him.
Yeah.
That could have been it. Oh well. Yes, he's gone.
As Batman dies, the Flash races as fast as he can, exploding through time. Just before Superman reaches him, the Flash races back in time. And then we're back with Bruce and Lois as they first argue in Justice League 2. You're not the father. Lois storms out of the Batcave when the Flash arrives, landing in the Justice League 2 moment. He tells Bruce what we didn't hear before, what Bruce whispered in Flash's ear. Lois lied to you. You're the father. After delivering his message, the Flash vanishes from his existence. Here's my favorite part. So Bruce didn't know that he was the father, because immediately after Lois said, you're not the father, she died. So 5 years later, Bruce is like, yeah, just lie to me. Just lie to me.
Damn.
It doesn't make sense. How did he know? How did he know to tell Bruce that? Lois comes back, trying to reconnect with Bruce, who is still reeling from this information. Again, Lois is insisting that he listen to her, and this time he does. She tells him Lex has a plan to take out the Justice League. Working together, they discover his attack plans against the League when suddenly Darkseid's boom tube opens, water pouring into the cave again. Darkseid looks at Lois, Bruce looking down from above behind the glass, but this time Bruce goes into action, smashing through the glass, throwing himself in front of Darkseid's Omega Beam, moves Lois out of the way. He's struck, crying out, but he survives somehow.
What?
What? That's a straight up laser.
Batman survives Darkseid's Omega Beam. If you've ever read the comic Final Crisis, Batman literally...
Yes, I know about that moment.
Batman is killed by Darkseid's Omega Beam.
Yes.
But in this movie, he's just built different, I guess. Superman arrives, this time to see Batman injured. He flies into a rage, but instead of being overpowered by Darkseid, he beats him back, forcing Darkseid to retreat. Lois tells Superman he has to warn the others. Lex has a plan. With information from Lois on Lex's Injustice League, Superman saves the League,
Injustice League. I like that.
Stopping Dr. Poison from releasing the gas on Themyscira, stopping Orm Manta from killing Aquaman, and Leonard Snart from taking out Cyborg. So this comes back to Hugo's thing of the entire movie rests on Superman just showing up to save the day. So the other heroes just have no say in the matter.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
goes to the dark side and like it goes down.
It's really dumb. I don't like that. I feel like Aquaman and the Flash shouldn't have to rely on Superman to save them from their villains.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in the Batcave, Bruce reveals to Lois that although he's alive, he was hit. Yeah, no shit, she saw that. There's a darkness growing across his body. He's in pain, but they need to keep fighting. He tells Lois as he boards the Batplane, "I could have had a life outside the cave with you." Bruce leaves across the world as Earth unites against Darkseid. So I guess in this universe, if you get hit with Omega Beams, you just get sick.
You just get stung. It's just a flesh wound. It's but a scratch.
Yeah, I mean, he's dying. But he's dying so that he can do plot things.
Dying slow enough that he can fly a plane.
Alright, so, hey, actually, I lied. Mara getting crushed by Superman is my second favorite line. My first favorite line is coming up, and I'll tell you all about it. Alright, Darkseid's full-scale invasion begins. It's too much for the Justice League to handle on their own, but they won't have to. Led and inspired by Superman, the countries of the world come together. Armies, Air Force, navies. The Coast Guard is left out of this one because fuck the Coast Guard.
Rip.
Wonder Woman and He-Mother. Wonder Woman and her mother lead the Amazons off Themyscira to join the war, and in the ocean, Aquaman pleads to the Seven Kingdoms, declaring that there is an eighth kingdom, the surface world, and they must be allies, not enemies. The Seven Kingdoms rise to join the Amazons and the surface. I hope y'all are ready for this. This line is the greatest thing. The entire world becomes a Justice League.
Clap, applause, or round of applause.
I gotta give it to him. I gotta get that. That has the same vibe as in the original Star Wars script, where it's like General Hux looks down. He lost the Star War. It's so cringe. That is such a bad. And I imagine that like Batman would show up and he'd be like, "The entire world has become a Justice League," and he does like a shoulder shimmy. The Seinfeld theme plays, and he winks at the camera. Nope. It's so dumb. That's my favorite line. I want the entire world.
Deadshot. That sounds like something Deadshot would say. Actually, Deadshot just flies in like, "Well, would you look at that?
The entire world become a Justice League." Guys, we're not done. We have like 2 pages left.
Nice.
What?
I'm just
all right. Here we go.
Like, good lord, continue.
In a Lord of the Rings like finale, I like that. I like that. I like that he was brave enough to compare it to Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
In a Lord of the Rings like finale, the history of the 3 armies that first battled Darkseid echoes through history today: the world of men, the Amazons, and the Atlanteans.
What about the Lanterns? Are they here?
Fuck them.
I was just about to say, as the battle continues, Green Lantern joins the fight along with the alien.
Daffy Duck's here. Daffy Duck
So
is
it's not 3 armies, it's 4. But okay. Fuck you, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't understand though. Why is the Lantern Corps here? They didn't show up last time.
True.
Who warned them? Who called them?
Probably.
Were they just passing by?
Lois Lane. She's the key to everything. She probably.
Oh, you're right.
She probably has him on voicemail.
It's the entire DC universe together for the very first time on a scale unlike any that's ever been seen, battling to save the world together.
What about Team Shazam? Well, fuck you.
Right?
And the Birds of Prey.
Where's the Birds of Prey? Where's everybody else at?
Where's the family?
Good lord.
During the battle, Hippolyta dies, saving her daughter, proud of what she's done.
Tragic.
The Flash is able to move so quickly, he masters his powers, existing in 2 places at once. Unstoppable, he takes out an entire army himself. So why was everyone else needed? Why did everyone else need to be there? Flash picks up the
now it's not Superman's the one doing everything. Now it's Flash just speeding so much they can wipe out an army.
You're gonna like these next 2 sentences. Cyborg is able to overpower the Mother Boxes, taking control of them, triggering a chain reaction that destroys them, weakening Darkseid. And here's where it gets good. It's ultimately a dying Batman who sacrifices himself to save the League and the world, destroying Darkseid. Would you like to know how he did it?
Yes.
Yes.
So would I. Fuck you. You don't get to know. Batman killed Darkseid.
Batman?
Also, wait, how is it sacrificing himself if he's dying?
Batman.
I don't know, man, but Batman kills Darkseid somehow. A weakened Batman who is dying very slowly kills Darkseid.
Batman
Next page.
killed Darkseid. Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb.
He probably
All right,
got,
last
he
page,
got,
guys. Here we
get
go.
He got the mother boxes and he went, and I am Batman. And then he wiped him out just like that.
Guys, the final page. Are you excited?
Yes.
Are you as excited as I am? Okay. In the aftermath, Diana becomes the new queen of the Amazons, leading them to rejoin the outside world and restore and inspire peace. With the Amazons at her side, Diana negotiates peace between the countries of the world, unlike anything in history.
Dang. I mean, I guess anyone will unite for peace when it comes to hot warrior ladies. So yeah, that gets the job done. There you go.
Arthur is recognized by the humans as a true king by the kingdoms as a true king that has helped unite the world. The skepticism over his human heritage not only gone, but replaced with admiration. Cyborg evolves, becoming a god of the digital age, able to transform himself to look human again, which kind of goes against his arc.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. But oh well.
Lois mourns Bruce's death. Superman looks closer, realizing that Lois is carrying Bruce's child. Lois admits it, but he already knows. Maybe he always did. He saw what he needed to, but he doesn't shy away. Instead, he embraces Lois and her unborn child. He has a reason to be Clark again. So essentially, Snyder has Superman's long arc of 5 films end in being a cuckold.
Dude.
Batman cucks Superman into being Clark Kent and says, "Fuck you" from beyond the grave.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful, man.
I was just like cool with it that she was just fucking someone.
Yeah, he doesn't even like question it. He's like, "Sure, I'll be Clark, whatever."
Yeah,
like that's
I'll be the
move.
kid stepdad.
The cup of steel.
All right, last paragraph. Here we go. Oh, by the way, they didn't even mention what Flash's ending is. The fuck you, I guess. And Green Lantern also is just here, I guess. He didn't get mentioned either.
Yeah.
20 years later, after a memorial commemorating the Batman sacrifice, Commissioner Barbara Gordon asks Lois, "What are you going to tell?" Oh yeah, Barbara's just here and knows Lois.
Show up? What
the?
Not even
Gordon,
Jim. Not even J.K. Simmons.
Barbara Gordon asked Lois, "What are you going to tell him?" She's referring to telling Lois' son the truth about his father. Mm-hmm. For the first time in decades, crime is returning to Gotham, and it needs a Batman again. Various Justice League members, like Martian Manhunter, present. Where's he been? What's he doing? Where's he been?
Oh my god, I forgot. Where was he?
Yeah, well, that's the first time he's mentioned in all these pages. Where's he been? What's he doing? Lois takes her son to the Batcave and reveals the truth. His father was Bruce Wayne / Batman. In Gotham, rising from the shadows and out into the moonlight, we meet the all-new Batman.
Batman Beyond! Yeah, no. No.
Superman's adopted son becomes Batman as one last middle finger to his father that raised
him. That is so... I
have no words.
Batman said, "I da pappy."
Nice.
It's so bad. Why, dude? Why? Why? It's all so bad.
You have characters just not existing, like Martian Manhunter, even though they could easily help out. You have all this setup for a plot that goes pretty much nowhere because it's all undone through the power of time travel. Bruce and Lois is the most unnecessary romantic pairing of all time. Yeah, I like the idea of the unity of the world and everything. Like, that's a cool message to go for. But, like, no, this is not how you do it. I don't know. I like how you can go...
The entire world.
Let's mention how Darkseid basically factors no role into this. He's kind of just a threat to blow up. Like
it could have been like Brainiac.
Pretty much,
it could have been anybody.
Any other like Darkseid kills Lois, and then Superman kills him, and then he's like evil, and then like
no, Batman kills him, dummy.
Oh, right. Sorry. And then like when they undo time, he's just a threat to fight. It's like Thanos in Endgame. He's just there for the final battle because we gotta have a cool fight. Like that feels a bad way to utilize such an iconic villain.
Pretty dumb.
The Green Lanterns, so much for them. You could pretty much write this film without them in it, and nothing would change.
Wow.
That's a lot. Man, I don't know. It's such a weird, over-the-top, hyper-depressing way just to get an optimistic message at the end. Like, I don't know, man. That's not my... I'm glad if they do continue this, please make changes. Drop the Batman Lois stuff.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing that at least, probably.
It's pretty dumb. And I'm so tired. I feel like we should have dedicated a whole other podcast to talking about the plans. Oh my god, there's so much.
That is a lot to get through. I mean, that's it in a nutshell,
I want to sleep
now. Should we just wrap up with some final thoughts then on culture and whatnot? So, like, if y'all want more thoughts, a lot of the stuff we've mentioned here, there are some things we already mentioned in a previous podcast on the Snyder Cut, because a lot of things do align between the theatrical and Snyder versions. So, I mean, just to wrap up with general thoughts, just some general extra things on the movie that I just didn't have time to mention real quick. First are just some mini comparisons. I want to say, I was convinced that, like, the Whedon cut, as I'll call it, would offer literally nothing good. But there are actually just a handful of things that I actually prefer in the theatrical cut, which surprised me. Like, those things like a couple of scenes that were at first I was like kind of just passive towards, I actually did prefer in the Whedon version. Like, for example, I know we all meme the intro scene with the kids interviewing Superman. I like that scene in concept, the idea of kids actually looking up to him. I mean, the dialogue was really cheesy, and also the lip did not help at all. But, like, that scene in concept was a cool idea. I like that we actually had a montage of people being depressed after the death of Superman to support the whole...
I do not like that montage. I think that montage
itself is bad. Stupid. Yeah, but it's stupid.
It's like oh my god, oh no, Superman wasn't here to stop this racist guy from kicking the oranges. Oh no. Like, what? But what is that? Why'd you do that? What?
I mainly like it because
Superman wasn't here to help this homeless guy. Oh no!
Yeah, I mainly like it because of the "I tried" sign. It's just a perfect metaphor for the whole situation. But, like, in all seriousness, for scenes I actually truly like, I like Batman mentoring the Flash during the sewer fight, where he's like, save one person. Like, you can tell Flash is inexperienced, and Batman, being experienced, is trying to get him more comfortable with the whole hero thing. Because obviously, while Flash is psyched, anyone who has to go up against like crazy cyborg bugs and a demon like Steppenwolf would be kind of scared on their first day. So I like that Batman kind of mentored him. I like that they actually debated Superman's resurrection and the ethics of that in the Whedon cut. What I like, and you have like some more tension between the characters. They add more scenes of Aquaman being suspicious of Cyborg. The only problem is that they undercut them with jokes. I like that Batman and Wonder Woman have fallen out, even though I think it's kind of hypocritical. It's kind of hypocritical for Batman to bring up how Wonder Woman hasn't gotten over Steve when he never got over his parents' death. So that's kind of stupid. But anyways, I like the Aquaman lasso joke that they added with him telling everyone the truth and everything.
I fucking hated that joke. Hugo,
I love that joke. That joke was so wholesome, though. I think it was misplaced, but I like the joke. Other than that, and most importantly, the one thing that the Whedon cut has over the Snyder cut is the fact that Steppenwolf screams balls when he's in Atlantis.
I was looking that up.
That was the best thing. And it wasn't, and since it's not in the Snyder cut, it's automatically worse. Hashtag owned. Like,
I legitimately only had one problem with the Snyder cut over the Whedon cut. Well, there was one thing that I would take from the Whedon cut and leave it in. And it is when Superman pulls back his trench coat, I would have had him wearing the red and blue.
I
because the more I think about it, there's no real reason for Superman to be wearing black and white. It feels kind of like antithetical to the arc because Superman's back and he's like, I'm going to face the world and show them who I am. And John Kent and Jor-El are telling him to love them the way that they loved him. And he's like, I will be among them and I will be better now. But he's wearing black, so it's like, why?
Because he's all emo.
I mean, I don't understand that, and I really hate saying this, but I genuinely do think it was Snyder just saying, I like black. Black is cool.
Yeah. Edgy. But anyways, like, other than that, Flash is pretty annoying in both cuts, less so in the Snyder one, so... I will say, like, a lot of cheesy jokes...
I think he's late.
Okay, yeah, a lot of cheesy jokes that people blamed on, like, the theatrical cut were actually in the Snyder cut. We mentioned Snack Hole, Hi Barry, I'm Diana, the Wonder Woman's Kal-El no moment was in this. That moment, it was slightly, it was just a teeny bit better. The thing is, it was a different cut in the Snyder cut, which tells me that they filmed that scene multiple times and still managed to make her sound super emotionless. So that's awkward.
I was like, can we get Gal to get another take on that?
And you have the "You smell good" line from Lois, which...
Well, I'm going to be honest, this is a bit of a hot take. I think a lot of it comes down to just Gal Gadot is not that good of an actress.
I'm not going to argue it there. I'm not going to argue that.
I can't.
Wonder Woman,
she's like, great as Wonder Woman, but she can do intimate moments, but I don't think she can do like declarations and shit.
I was texting you the other day. I was like, she's a model first. So.
Other than that, you have some new awkwardly placed scenes, even in the Snyder cut. Everyone's memed the village girl sniffing Aquaman's shirt. The entire Flash intro scene, Flash fantasizing about Wonder Woman while talking to Cyborg, like, you think she'd go for younger guys? And I'm like, well, she is a sexual predator, but she's not like that. That's a joke about 1984. I don't think. So, Flash maybe.
Sexual offender.
she's already committed enough crimes. But yeah. Anyway.
The fact that he's doing it while digging up a grave too, like, not the time.
Yeah, like he's literally talking about getting boned by Wonder Woman while they're digging up a corpse. That was so weird. Anyways, other than that, Commissioner Gordon is wasted in both cuts of the film, which really upsets me.
Oh my god, I thought good casting.
No point. I thought for sure that was a like theatrical cut thing, but no, it was also in the Snyder cut.
He has an extra scene in the theatrical cut.
Yeah,
he has one more
less.
That was upsetting, and like because he has so much charisma, he's so cool, and they just don't use him. And I mean, I don't know if they're going to continue the Batman mythos in the DCEU. If they do, make sure Gordon is still in it, definitely. But yeah,
don't waste J.K. Simmons, dude.
One little nitpick is that Victor, like Cyborg, is a lot more cautious in the Whedon cut. Like, he actually is very stealthy with how he's a robot in public. Because there are scenes where he's in public in the Snyder cut, and he just has himself exposed. Like, one scene after he, like, hacks an ATM, he just walks off, and people even notice that he has freaking metal all over his face. And then in the later scene when he meets Diana, he doesn't wear anything at all. He's just Cyborg. And I'm just like... You don't want people to see, but yeah, I mean, it's late at night, so people aren't going to be out at night that much. So I guess I can give him a pass.
Well, I think it's more. I think it's more contributing to his arc of him trying to say that he's not a monster. He's not.
Yeah, okay.
He's not broken. Mm-hmm. He shouldn't have to hide who he is.
Mm-hmm. Steppenwolf. Like, a lot of people have debated the design. I must say, Steppenwolf's armor looks really cool in Snyder's cut. Much cooler. However,
I know it's great.
I don't like his face. I do not like his weird. I don't even know how to describe it. Face. I have already memed that he looks like a shark vagina, but like I don't know what is going on with that face. I don't like. There's even a shot where he like touches the mother box hologram and it zooms in on his face, and I shit you not. As I was watching this on like my college campus, and someone walked by me.
Guys, this is important.
Yes.
This is important. Okay. So I know we said we weren't going to talk about this during the break, but.
Yes.
So the new version of the movie is getting released to HBO Max. The Justice is Gray version. It's black and white or desaturated, whatever. Zack Snyder had to refilm the Joker scene for that version. Apparently, it's for charity. Whatever. Who cares? He said that there are 2 additional lines of Joker dialogue in that version. So here's what I'm thinking. It's coming.
It's coming.
The society line. Guys, this is important. We're getting it. We've been campaigning for this. We've been waiting, and we're getting it. We're getting the society cut.
Hashtag release the society cut.
Society cut.
But yeah,
let's do it.
Yes, thank you. Anyways, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. But as I was saying,
bro, what do you mean?
That is good news though. But anyways, as I was saying, so as I was watching the movie, like, cause I was watching it on my college campus, and as it zooms in on Steppenwolf's face, some random a random student walked by me, and as it zoomed on his face, they literally said behind me, "He looks inbred," and I was like, "Bro." But yeah, that was weird in particular. So honestly, I must say, as much as we hate on the Whedon version, I would rather like take that version's face and put it in the Snyder version's armor or something, because I think the Whedon version has potential if you actually give it more distinguishable details. But you know, that's just me. So it was. I'm just crossed on both versions more or less. But Steppenwolf was still cool overall. Other than that, I mean, I guess that's pretty much all my main comparisons. I must say, Josh Whedon himself has pretty much disappeared amongst all of this. Like, just vanished.
Good. I hope he never works again.
Not only is he hated for this movie, but he's hated for a lot of drama going on behind the scenes in real life. So that is some really bad timing. That is, that's how you crumble yourself, man. That is crazy, but yeah.
Fuck him. He did not anticipate that fucking with Ray Fisher would be the downfall of his career.
Yep. That is.
I'm glad it is.
That is crazy. Other than that, those are all my main comparisons for these cuts. So
basically, my wrap-up thoughts. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the movie. I'm really glad that it got made because of what it represents.
Yes, that's what our lesson is here. What this represents. Because the question is, was it worth it? Was it worth this fan campaign, all this additional budget, and all these years of alleged harassment? I say absolutely. It was totally goddamn worth it to get this movie. I don't even like it that much, but this movie was damn worth it. Like, this movie represents something perfect. It's the same opinion people have on, like, Joker. This is my Joker moment to me. This is like the movie we needed in culture right now. This is what this represents. The artistic integrity overtaken studio mandates and all that stuff to me. This is exactly how you do it. Yeah, you know, this is like the perfect untouched artistic vision and everything. And I mean, I must say, Zack Snyder, like you mentioned, Zack Snyder's a great guy. I just wish I liked his movies more. He has officially joined my I wish I liked your vision list along with Rian Johnson, because I love Rian Johnson. He's a sweetheart. I just wish he didn't make The Last Jedi. But yeah. Other than that, there's a new hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. How are your opinions on that?
I agree. I want to see more.
Yeah. Like, honestly, considering that they purposely end this on a cliffhanger, I know Zack himself most certainly wants to get that universe done. And I'm sure fans want it. So, honestly, if they want to make 2 cinematic universes at the same time, I say go for it. My
wrap-up thoughts is just, I'm also really, really glad this got made. I mean, I didn't completely enjoy it, in my opinion, but, I mean, again, what it represents, I think, is a lot more important than the content of itself, because Hollywood just has a really big problem with things like this, and the Snyder Cut is really just like hopefully it's a new precedent for what could happen. Yes. I think that's really important, and I'm glad Zack got his vision out. I'm glad he, got what he wanted out into the world, and I think that's really important, because ultimately what this is, I mean, I know it's a comic book movie, but it's art, It's what he wants, and we can all disagree with his vision. I mean, because I personally, it's not my taste. Logan likes it. I mean, we all have different opinions of it. But that's bound to be the case because art is subjective.
I will gladly
I'm not going to drag on him. And I'm not going to just completely say he's a bad filmmaker. But I don't necessarily like what it was, but I think I'm glad that someone got to make their piece of art that they wanted ultimately. In the
Yes, I will gladly take a movie that I disagree with, but that has a lot of passion and heart put into it, like BVS, rather than a soulless corporate blockbuster that I disagree with, like Age of Ultron or something.
Yes.
So, yes, I'm totally here for that. I will say it's kind of a bad timing because right now there's a lot of controversy with Zack Snyder himself in the fandom, so that's bad timing. Literally a day after the movie came out and everybody was on his side, a lot of people are now having some debate with him because of some like behind the scenes controversy and some like deal-ins with other fans online. I will post some articles and news on that in the description for y'all who want to look into it. But yeah. That's pretty much it. We're all tired, so let's recommendation. Let's get this over with. Recommendation.
My recommendation is go check out my new short film on YouTube. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yes, Triple M has made a short film. I will link it down below. So I mean, you can't recommend your own media, Triple M.
I just did.
Oh wow!
I just did.
What a savage. Okay, Triple M is shilling officially. So there you go. Galactic Blame. What is your recommendation?
I don't have too many recommendations right now. I watched Modern Times today. That was fine. Okay. So, I mean, you know, I think it's culturally significant. So, you know, that's if you're into that, I mean, go ahead and try it. It's a good way to knock out an hour and a half of your time. So.
Okay, then. For my recommendation, since we're on the topic of alternate cuts of movies and beloved movies, I'd like to recommend another one of those. It's not exactly a director's cut or anything, but I'm sure many of y'all are familiar with Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but I'm sure most of y'all don't know there is an alternate universe edition of the movie, which has completely different scenes, context, and all kinds of stuff around it. This is technically not like a alternate, like a full-on director's cut. What this is that they took a bunch of like deleted concepts from the original cut of Spider-Verse, like a bunch of storyboards, unfinished animated scenes, and they collabed it with actual scenes from the movie to make a different story. You have like Gank, for example. Gank, who was Miles' friend and roommate in the movie Spider-Verse, but he didn't really do anything. He was just kind of there. He's actually very integral to the plot of the alternate universe cut. And he and Miles kind of go along the story. You have more scenes of Miles' father and uncle talking, more background to Peter B. Parker. Dr. Octopus's fate is given a different cut and ending, which I thought was interesting, which they might bring into the sequel. But long story short, it's sort of just a what-if scenario for the film. You can watch it through the special features of the digital or Blu-ray release of Spider-Verse, or you can see the scenes online. And, yeah, it's not officially a new film, but it's just an interesting new deleted concept. And yeah, we're done. That was the Snyder cut. Thank you, everyone.
I'm out of here.
We're done with superheroes. I'm done. I don't want to talk about superheroes ever again. I don't want to talk about superheroes no more. That was it. This was the accumulation of everything. Thank you, and good night, and we live in a society, whatever. Bye now.
Night, everybody.
Goodbye.